moment BrahjCast fans listening around the world have been waiting for. Live from the BrahjCast studios in Maizomanie, Wisconsin, it's time! 1 hour of mind-blowing conversation for the podcasting championship of the world. Introducing first, casting out of his office corner, he is a Jiu-Jitsu Grandmaster and a black belt at Knowledge Bomb University, boasting a perfect podcasting record of 420 wins with 0 losses. He stands at 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighing in at 180 1/2 pounds, fighting out of Maizomanie, Wisconsin, introducing the reigning, defending, podcasting champion of the world, the BrahjCast's very own Christopher Michael Krerowicz.
All right, what's up, everybody? It's Chris from the BrahjCast, and my guest today needs no introduction. He's one of the top, if not the top, Canseco collector out there. The pieces in his collection are borderline legendary, and after viewing his entire collection on YouTube and having to cry on my pillow for the stuff that I'm just never going to own, I had to contact him immediately and have him come on the show and tell me and all of you all about it. So without further ado, please welcome to the BrahjCast my man from New Jersey, Mr. John Carlson. John, say hello to the millions of listeners out there.
Hello, everybody. How you doing today?
There he is. John, tell us a little bit about yourself and mainly, how in the world did you get into Canseco collecting?
Oh, geez. It goes way back to 1985.
Nice.
When the hobby was going on. And I remember going with friends. Shows were everywhere. There was card shops everywhere back then. And I just says, you know, how do you collect to my friends? And they says, well, you pick a player that you like or whatever, and you get into it. So I don't know why or how, but I just saw Jose's. Actually, Jose had the highest rookie card back then. It must have been about $2 or $3 for the '86 Donruss. This is like when it was just coming out right before in '86. And I says, man, I started watching him play. I says, this guy just uses all his might when he swings.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to see him a lot of ball games, and I saw a lot of racism
Mm-hmm.
in the ballparks. And I says, wow, you know, I remember trying to talk to him, call him over as a kid, and adults saying, talk to him in Spanish. Maybe he'll react to Spanish. And I was like, why are they? And I just, as the years went on, again, I just saw a lot of jealousy towards him. I think he always had the good looks. He had the home run power,
Mm-hmm.
the speed for a guy his size. He had real great speed. Had all the women. It was always always rumored. You know, he had 2 or 3 girls waiting for him in the hotel. They pay off security guards to get inside his hotel room. He didn't ask for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I always said, like, if this guy was like when he had a lot of negative press, I used to say, if this guy was white like Don Mattingly, forget about it. He'd be 100 times more loved.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
But unfortunately, that's how I looked at it for a lot of years.
What about when did you start collecting like the physical, going to buy the packs and ripping open cards and just trying to start collecting Jose cards?
Oh, geez. I remember when they had this card like in Jiffy Pop, and I go to the store and buy like 20 Jiffy Pops. There's like a 26 card set, and I'd be lucky if I pulled one. If I didn't, guess where I was going 10 minutes later? Back to the store. I remember having old Jiffy Pop. I remember passing out Jiffy Pop to families and friends.
Right.
You know, the Kraft macaroni and cheese boxes, at least you could see who's on the box. But, you know, stuff like that. Drake's Cakes boxes. Remember, was it 87? Yellow. I think I got about 40 of those in mint shape. I have a whole box of, at least you could see it. But those ones where they were inside, like cereals, like Post, forget it. They were a nightmare to collect back then. But then came the world of internet, and you can find anything you want now. It's incredible.
Man, the game has changed. That's for sure. Having everything just mailed to your doorstep is absolutely amazing.
As long as you don't mind the $3.99 shipping fee.
Isn't that, and I'm such a fan of dollar cards. I'm a different kind of collector. There's a bunch of different kinds of collectors out there, and a lot of the stuff I like is $1. And just like you said, I got to pay almost $5 for the dang card. Man.
I know. Sometimes that one place, Burbank Sports Cards, they might have like multiples of one card. So you might have a chance there where you could buy like 20 of them, and only pay the one shipping fee. But I understand where you're coming at.
But you know what it is, what it's taken away now that I'm a 38-year-old man, I still seek out my local baseball card shop, to give it some business, but I still enjoy that atmosphere. And I wonder, and I'm probably right, as far as the newer generation that is just born with, phones and eBay and cards delivered, I don't think that experience is there, with the younger generation. And that's unfortunate as far as trying to get somebody involved in collecting cards at a young age.
Through the years too, I've always seen that the people at present only want the guys that are playing now too.
Yeah, which blows my mind too.
I mean, you're 38, you said?
Yep.
I'm 50. If I go to a show and I walk around and say any Cansecos, they're like, what? They're like, maybe in my basement, maybe my table that isn't level. I wedge his cards under one of the legs to level it. They just don't. Everything is like probably Bryce Harper or Mike Trout.
Yep.
Or Aaron Judge.
Yeah.
And it's funny because me and my wife will walk around stores and you see all the signs, whatever the sports stars are, and you see big posters of Bryce Harper or some other, and I'm just like, man, the hell with them. I'm gonna bring one of my Canseco posters here and hang it up over it.
Today, this afternoon, I drove an hour and a half to a town outside of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, West Dallas, to my first baseball card show experience in probably 20 years. And just like you said, they're like, friendly dudes, nice place, decent place. I shouldn't say it was really nice and shit, but, they're like, so what are you looking for? Anything in particular? And, you got any Jose Cansecos? And every single one of them just tilted their head and looked at me like I was like I was an idiot or something. I'm like, what? What's the problem? You got any card? Basically what I'm asking is, you got any cards here that are, only a few dollars or something like that, and like you said, there's Trouts and Judges and all these super autographed 9.5s, Beckett's with 10 on the autograph, hundreds and $200, $300. It's just, and I know right? Nobody has any Canseco.
Right. And these guys, okay, give them the credit that's due for this year or the last couple of years, but still they haven't played a whole season yet. Like some of the greats, and I think we're alike in the sense where we say, okay, we like Canseco, but it's like people aren't even aware, don't even know the excitement it was when going to the ballpark. We used to get there earlier just for batting practice.
Parkway Jose, man.
And it would be silent, and yet I'm closest to Yankee Stadium. It would be silent, and all you would hear is the ball going out of batting practice off his bat and oohs and ahs.
Definitely.
And if you were walking to your seat behind home plate or out in the bleacher creatures, people just stopped and just watched him. Their eyes were fixed on him. And if you remember how they'd rotate, I think he'd go in for like maybe 10 balls, then another guy would jump in. That's when you'd see the stadium start moving around and talking. Right. But once he got his rotation back in that batting cage, it was done. It was silence. And you don't see that no more. I mean, maybe you do with Judge or Giancarlo Stanton, but I don't know.
Right.
It's not the same.
I feel like they're struggling just to fill the seats, unfortunately, anymore in a lot of ballparks around the world, because that experience is just, I don't know if people want to drive and pay all the money and do all this, and when they can just basically have it brought to them HD style. And I don't know. It's weird. It's just changing, unfortunately.
And he was entertaining. They would throw like blown up dolls. Remember the outfield at Yankee Stadium?
Yes,
You know,
definitely.
they would just torment him. A good friend of mine, Kenny Shabunya, he was the one that got into an altercation with Jose behind home plate, if you remember, where Jose came out, pointed his finger at him, and he actually was a real SOB because when I says, Kenny, what happened with that? He said, I was trying to get him to hit me. And he was saying, how's your wife? How's Madonna?
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, so and I actually had a baseball that Jose signed, and I had Kenny sign it because it was like, if you remember, it was a famous altercation. Remember, LaRusso went out there screaming and yelling.
Yes, I do.
But he was such a pleasure to go see. Even if he went 0 for 4, he gave his heart out there when he swung the bat, and that's really what fixated me on him was the power.
Yep. Yep.
I saw a lot of, and his swing. I don't know. I mean, I've always tried. Here's another thing. I've always tried to look to find another ball player. Yep. Let's say Jose never existed in life. Who would you follow? And I really don't know. Maybe Juan Gonzalez.
Probably Ken Griffey for me as far as swings go. I think Junior has a very pretty swing.
Yeah, I didn't like Griffey. Guy was a great player. I didn't like Frank Thomas. Didn't like the Iron Man, Cal Ripken. I liked Albert Bello a little bit, believe it or not. He was a little crazy, that guy.
Yeah, definitely.
But when I don't know, just Juan Gonzalez, I liked his physique as a tall baseball player. I think he had an inch. I think he had an inch on Canseco, I believe. He might have been 6'5".
I remember, cracking my first baseball packs, in 87 when I was 7. I remember my grandpa, it was probably at like a bar or like a pharmacy, but 87 Topps. And there was this dude sitting there with that all-star rookie there and that green outfit, man. I don't know what it was.
Little yellow cup.
Yep. And that little yellow cup, which to me at 7 years old meant that he was the best. You know what I'm saying? Like he had that. So this is the man to watch. And then it's like, oh, okay, I can see him on ESPN. Okay, so let me watch this guy bat. And then I seen him swing, and I was like, mouth dropped to the floor. I was like, holy cow, this dude is powerful.
Now that you say that, a lot of these events that he does with other former baseball players, Oil Can Boyd.
Yeah,
I had saw him do a thing in Boston. This was like a real small hick town we were in, and he says, when he used to pitch to him, and even when he watched him play, he says his feet would actually lift off the ground. and I try to find video of that, but really mostly the video just shows his upper body.
Yeah.
But he says this guy swung so hard that he would see his body lift off the ground.
I think he said in his book that he could swing so hard that he might rip his freaking shoulders out of socket.
I don't know if you ever seen some videos. He broke bats over his back.
Yes.
On the follow-through of the swing. I mean, wow. I mean, that's just incredible.
Yeah, not to mention that bat is half a weight of a tree.
And a lot of people don't even know who he is. If I mention it to some people, they're like, oh, I don't know. And I even try to say, well, how about the steroid controversy? They still don't get it. So I guess those people just aren't into baseball.
Yep.
But
sorry, go ahead. I was just going
to I just think it comes down to they were very jealous of the guy,
Yeah.
He had – I mean, the guy's pretty – when I talk to him, and he knows a lot about stocks and all that stuff and a wide array of knowledge. I mean, I don't think he's Einstein. Nobody's Einstein. But I think the guy's very intelligent. And he tried to educate players and help them out, and he just wanted to hit 500 home runs, and he would have had it so easily if he hasn't been injured so much in his career.
Yeah.
I mean, he missed chunks of seasons. He didn't miss games.
Yeah.
He was out chunks, and that's what really hurts. But
462 homers, man, so close to the 500 mark.
And they blackballed him in the end, and A-Rod was the one that told him, and a lot of other players. They wanted to make an example of him, and it's just – but you know what? You can't. He should have did it earlier, but he just, that broken wrist in '89.
Yeah, I hear that's obviously, when I tell people or whenever it comes up about my collection and my obsession for this dude. I don't want to say obsession, but whatever.
It is an obsession. You can talk to my wife; she'll tell you it's an obsession.
Right? You know, it always comes up with this roids bullshit, and it's just like, all right, well, let me give you some roids, and you go into a batting cage and set that thing up to 90 miles an hour
and try to hit a ball. No chance in hell.
It's not going to happen. It's talent, brother. Roids are roids. They're healing.
Yeah.
It's, you don't know what you're talking about, but it's not my argument. It's not my fight. I really don't care about other people's opinions about what I collect. So whatever.
If he was in competition for lifting weights, then I could say, well, it's unfair.
Right.
But those guys that lift weights, come on, they're on. I used to take creatine when I was a kid,
mm-hmm,
and I saw an increase in strength right off the bat of like 30%. So if I was lifting 300, I was doing 390 like nothing on creatine.
I hear.
But I didn't turn out too much retarded from the drug, so and it was legal, the creatine, but they could have outlawed creatine too and said, "Oh, that's no good for you now."
Yep, exactly.
Who knows?
You're exactly right.
And with the obsession, I agree with you 100%. Even my wife says, like if I'm on a cell phone every now and then, I just look at home run videos of his.
I know.
Items for sale, whatever. It's my only interest. And she'll come over, look at my cell phone real quick. I guess she's expecting to see porn or something.
Right.
And she goes, Canseco again? And I'm just like, that's all I'm interested in,
Right. What do you want?
I love Jeeps. I only drive Jeeps. I love my wife. I'm only interested in my wife. And I try to explain it to her that way,
Yep.
That's what I enjoy. And, a real quick story, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
We were at a show in New York, one of the nationals, I think, in White Plains. And I saw an 80-year-old black gentleman with a jersey in his hand. And I'm saying, that's Jose's jersey. That's not a replica. That's a real old, the old A's 86 jersey.
Mm.
So I said, I got to go talk to this guy. So I says, sir, he goes, yeah, that's his. And I says, I want to get him to sign it today. I says, is it for yourself? He says, yes. I says, please don't mind my question, or it might be an ignorant question, but how old are you? He says, I'm 81. I says, and you don't feel like a child, like collecting? I says, I must have been about 45 at the time. I says, sometimes I feel like a little kid, or people make fun of me. And he says, and he just said straight out, naturally, he goes, if it makes you happy, son, do it.
Yep.
He says, it makes me happy getting this shirt signed today and seeing him. I watched him play, and I was in shock. And I says, wow,
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure you and a lot of other people out there, they feel that way, like, oh, my little kid, but there's nothing wrong with it.
It's a healthy obsession, my friend. That's for sure. I could be spending my money at the bar, beating my old lady. I mean, there's worse
I got friends that spend hundreds of dollars on alcohol and shit, marijuana. They're gonna make it legal everywhere pretty soon. That's all you smell, even on the highways, from the cars driving in front of you. And the money they spend on that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, the only addiction I have is sometimes I overeat. That's the only thing. If there's a buffet around, oh my God,
Look out.
Exactly. And I was once 360. I'm down to like 280 now.
There you go.
But it's I don't know what it is to want to have drugs or smoke or drink or other women, but man, when it comes to food, and my wife tries to help me with this, but but with the collecting part, and then when he did the 40-40 in '88, which was 3 years after when I got into it, I was just really pumped and really enjoyed the hobby. And they didn't have much of a selection of cards back then, if you remember.
Right.
Topps, Donruss, Fleer. Score came out in what,
89 maybe?
89, yeah.
And there was not 19 different subsets and all that. Yeah. There was just one 500 card set, basically.
And I hated star cards. They were so stupid and dumb.
Yeah, I don't really collect them.
They were just above border. Border was the worst, and then like star.
Yeah, and I don't really collect those either, even though it's something you're kind of supposed to have, but I just don't. It doesn't interest me at all. And
there's a couple of nice shots of him on a couple of star cards, like in the $10 range, where he has the cutoff batting practice pull over.
Yep.
But I mean, they're not worth $10 to me. I mean,
no, not at all. Especially $10 plus $4 shipping.
I know. And as I'm getting older too, I see me buying less, and I don't know why. I think it's because every time he's in the tri-state area on the East Coast, we were always hanging out together.
Yeah.
And even he's like, John, what do you, I said, oh, there's an auction coming. He's like, you're with me. What are you picking out cards for?
Right. You're buying them.
And I says, dude, I do appreciate the time we're together, but it's my hobby,
Right. Exactly. The hunt
so
is
maybe I spend $20 a week, $30 a week, whatever.
Yep.
But and I get a lot of game use stuff from him, even now, and I turn it over. You can't keep everything.
Right.
There's a great collector in Canada who has like all his jerseys,
nice.
like from every team. I can't remember his name offhand right now. I don't know why. Dan from Canada.
Cool.
And he's got a lot of nice jerseys. I have the last two he wore in Lancaster and Saratoga.
Dang.
And I just can't give him up. I mean, sometimes I'll bring my wife on an event, and he's Cuban. He speaks fluent Spanish too. My wife's from Peru.
Oh, nice.
And the two of them just talk like crazy, and I can't comprehend it. I could speak it, I could write it, I could spell it, but it just doesn't go through my brain process quickly. So they'll go a mile a minute, and they'll look at me and they'll laugh. And I'm like, what?
Right.
What the fuck are they?
Right.
And
well,
then
how did you meet Jose then? So you're talking about events now. You did security for him, correct?
Yes. The first time I met Jose, he did a 40-40 show in Secaucus, New Jersey, with Bonds and A-Rod.
Nice.
That's where you see that famous poster of the three of them.
Yep.
I think it's Canseco first, then A-Rod, then Bonds on the poster. I might have that reversed. Actually, it's Bonds first, A-Rod in the middle, and Canseco all the way to the far right. And that pissed me off because I'm like, he was the first to do it. They should have put him smack dab in the middle.
Yep.
They put A-Rod. So I wasn't a fan of either of those two guys.
Me neither.
At the show, and I had a table there. What I used to do was I used to rent tables when he was at a show, and I would have a line, I swear, like 3 tables long, and all the other dealers would be like, what the hell is this? But all my tables were all Canseco memorabilia.
Yeah. And
I make easily $1,000, maybe $2,000 back then. And then at the end towards the show, I would go over and get stuff signed by him. And shit, I think I had to pay back then like maybe $40-$50.
Jesus.
But that was the first time I met him. Then I went to a lot of ballparks all around the country, out in Oakland, Boston. The best was when he was playing for the Newark Bears.
Oh,
I was going every day during the daytime, paying $4 a ticket.
Awesome.
I mean, they would think they were $8, and you'd get a coupon in the mail for half price. My friends would be like, I got to pay $80 to go see Jeter, and you're paying $4 to see Canseco.
Yep.
And every game I just hand them stuff. My whole collection is all signed.
That's awesome.
I probably have 20 to 30 items maybe that I've just gotten recently off of eBay or so to have them sign in the future when we're together. But and I know people say it hurts the item, like rookie cards and stuff. It defaces the value, which it does. Which I see. You could probably get a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar rookies, like let's say $10,000 mint. If it's signed, it's maybe $1,000. That's just the way,
Yeah.
So I said, okay, I got 200. I got over 200 rated rookies signed, but I also have 120 that are not signed.
Jesus Christ.
But God forbid, when the guy leaves the earth, he's not going to have a chance to. I mean, he signs a lot. Believe me, his signature is blown out.
Yes.
But it's just a nice. Every now and then you get a co-collector.
Yep.
That maybe starts bragging or starts, like putting you down a little bit, and I'm like, oh yeah. And then I got probably got to take a new picture. I got a nice picture of like 200 rated rookies like spread out.
Sick.
And they're like, that's like Photoshop. I'm like, no.
No,
it's not. Look at every signature is like, slightly different on every card. I mean, It's not like the same thing multiplied to try to make the illusion.
Right. Right.
And a lot of times I put auctions up at astronomical prices because, one, I don't want to sell them.
Right.
I actually get nervous, like sweating, saying, "Man, somebody might actually pay this for."
If I had the lottery money, I would have bought that 40/40 in one click immediately.
I mean, think. Okay, here's an example. You win, like, say, one of those lotteries at like $200 and something million.
Yep, easy.
And you cash out like 150 million.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know what I have it up. I have it up there for like 99,000 or something.
That's nothing. Yeah.
So now you come around. You know what? I'm throwing this 100,000 away. I want that for. I mean, to be honest, I guess the money is nice, but I'd be like upset too.
Exactly. It's hard to value something like that. It's almost in the value. It's in the beholder. It's priceless, really.
Yeah. The most I've ever been offered on that was like maybe 25K, maybe.
Dang.
20 to 25K, and I'm just like, nah.
So you're traveling around and getting stuff signed from him and stuff. So obviously you start gaining rapport with him. He sees you, starts to know who you are, after, multiple introductions.
Well, 2004, he was getting rid of a lot of his memorabilia because it was right before the book was coming out. And it just left a bad taste in his mouth. He just felt he was really screwed. He describes it like a divorce, and he wanted nothing from Major League Baseball that he owned. He didn't want it.
Oh.
And in a way, it's kind of shocking because you're like, how could you not want your MVP plaque?
Mm-hmm.
In your living room, or he had his 40/40 stuff up on the wall, and just like give up on everything. But in another way, you got to say how nice and unmaterialistic he is.
Yes.
Because you and me, who like to collect,
yes,
just imagine selling all your possessions and not that's kind of amazing. Mm-hmm. But in 2004, I got a couple of nice pieces in Virginia, and talked with the agent, and I'm just showing him. He's showing me all his stuff, and I'm saying, "Oh, that's from '92. He had Silver Slugger bats, trophies, telling everything." He sold the trophy from the 1999 Big League Challenge, where he beat I forgot who he beat in the finals. He lost to Palmeiro the second. The first year, did he beat Palmeiro? I forget.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I feel like he wrote about it in his book, and I just finished.
I know he beat Piazza. I believe he beat Bonds, McGuire. He might have beat Palmeiro in the finals, and then Palmeiro got it the second time. But they had that trophy there. Mm. So, and I brought like a little book of all photos of my collection, and the agent was like, it was Doug Ames at the time. He's like, "Wow, you have all that?" I'm like, "Yeah, So it was kind of like unprofessional because there's only him and Jose. Jose's in the back signing autographs up behind the curtains that they have.
Yep.
And he says, and we were talking about a good hour, hanging out at the show. I drove down there by myself in Virginia from Jersey. And he goes, "John, could you watch the table a minute? I got to go back with Jose and give him something." And I'm looking at him, and I'm looking around at the table, all his championship rings, his some jerseys.
Jesus.
And I'm drooling, my tongue's hanging out of my mouth, and I go, "You want me to watch all this stuff?" Right. I said, "You don't think I'd steal something?" And he looked at me real serious, and he went, "Would you steal something?" I says, "No, I'm not a thief."
Right.
even though I stole Jose's pants in Worcester, Massachusetts, which is another story I'll get to.
Right.
But he was going back and forth, and I'm watching the table, and he didn't really know half the stuff from what year it was from, or some Boston Red Sox. What year? It was 95, 96 he played for them. Oh. So it worked out nice. We went out to dinner, and he says, "John," he says, Jose says, "John, he's got a book coming out next year. Would you bodyguard for him?" Because then he knew I was a bounce in a lot of clubs.
Yeah.
And I probably was bigger when I went down to Virginia. I might have been in the 350 range. And I says, "You can get anybody you want." I says, "Why would you?" And he says, "John, you've been following me my whole friggin' career." I says, "No, I'd be honored." So I went back home. Nobody really thought it was like, like, what are you going to do, follow your childhood friend? And I had some friends that say, "What are you, nuts?" So, he kept his word. He came around. We did the grand opening wasn't in New York. There's actually a little store called Bookends in New Jersey. I think it's Ridgewood, New Jersey, a little store called Bookends. For some reason, this guy would get all the celebrities to go there first, and then they would go to, I believe it was Borders in New York.
Okay.
or might have been Barnes and Noble, I believe. And it was like a thrill, you know, and it was like a time in my life where it was just kind of weird things were happening, different strange periods, and it was just like, you know, I leave it up to God. There had to be a God.
Mm-hmm.
That, you know, I had passion for this player and liked it, and even my boss, I had to take some time off of work. He said to me, he goes, John, you take a bullet for this guy? I said, it'd be the most famous bullet to me, and you know. But you know, and I have pictures of us from the tour. You could see I was like 360. I used to pick two guys, grab two guys together, and like just slam them together in the go-go bars and in the dance clubs. You know,
So
a couple of New York. Go ahead, Chris.
Are you still working with them then to this day?
I know the last event we did was Saratoga, New York, and he did a signing somewhere too. Oh geez, I forget where in New York.
Was this last year-ish or?
I think he did White Plains recently too. He might have been in White Plains was the last show he did like 2 months ago. He had a couple of Dallas Cowboys there. You know who I ran into too? A guy I liked as a kid in high school. I remember him was the Boz.
Oh yeah, and Tony Bosworth.
We're at a Starbucks. The Starbucks was actually in the hotel, and I'm standing next to a guy, and we're like not like pushing, but our elbows were touching, trying to get to the creamers for the coffee. So I didn't even pay attention to the guy. I mean, you know. So I get my coffee and sit down, and Jose says, "You know who you're standing next to?" I says, "No." He says, "That's Brian Bosworth." I says, "Get the F out of here." So I turn around. There's Brian Bosworth.
That's
he looked good for aging. He's a little gray.
Right.
So I says, "Oh, the boss," and he's like, "Hey, how you doing?" And I says, "Oh my God." I says, "I like you. I remember in high school, you know, you were the big shit, you know."
Yep.
They remember you were writing 44 on your shoes because they wouldn't let you have 44 as a jersey. You had to wear 55.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Stone Cold, the movie where you're undercover biker, and he's like he's like trying to remember.
No doubt.
And he's like, yeah. I said, remember you came out on the field for the I guess it was the Rose Bowl or whatever, with a shirt that said NCAA, and then he had National Communist Association of America.
That was huge.
And he had to stop to remember that. He goes, yeah, that's right. I said, I just want to say, I mean, I didn't collect you, but I was awed by your power and stuff, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I sat back down with Jose, and he looked like he was a little jealous. And he goes, "You here with me?" Or you here? I says, "This guy was the shit in college." I says, "What I was really amazed at is I could have picked this guy up with one arm."
No doubt.
You know, he was small, and I guess when I was a kid in high school, maybe they appear bigger athletes, right. You know, superstars. And Jose says, he goes, "John, not everybody's big like you and me. I mean, we're big guys." I says, but I expect this guy who played football would be more huge. And we took a limo over to the show from the hotel, and I had a couple of ex-Dallas Cowboys there. It was Ed Too Tall Jones was there.
Nice.
Calvin Johnson.
I don't know if I know that name.
Wasn't
Calvin Johnson is a Lion? Oh, the
no. He played for the Cowboys. Calvin Thomas, I believe.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So, and there was a couple old ones there, and I was telling them the story, and they said, "Well, it's not about your son." These guys were small too, and they said Dwayne Thomas was the one player, was a running back for Cowboys, and I think it was Calvin Murphy, I forget, and they were small. Too Tall Jones wasn't small, of course. He's huge.
Right.
And they're saying it's not the size of the player, it's the size of his heart. I says, I understand that. I says, but I just looked at the guy as he was gigantic. But.
Yeah, maybe that's why Bo Jackson ran his ass over.
Yeah. But you know, another thing I can't understand why Jose is not more collectible is you don't hear about Cal Ripken, you don't hear about Mattingly, you don't hear about Frank Thomas. I mean, he's doing those Extends commercials or whatever it is, you know, he's doing commercial like, oh, is that Frank Thomas? That's BS. Nobody cares about him.
Mm-mm.
He's not in the limelight. But Jose is constantly doing events, signings. He's got the gig in Vegas 4 nights a week. I mean, his name is out there. So that's why I think he's always going to be collectible, and his name is going to be, you know, famous.
Yeah, very collectible, and I'm finding that out a lot as I'm trying, you know, as you try to purchase some of the more like the newer stuff, now that all the newer cards, you got to get the purple version that's of 50 and the blues of 25 and the orange is a 5. You know what I'm talking about?
I understand it's nice, but I can't see like paying like 500 or more for a 1/1.
No, not at all.
When you could go out and you can get a game used bat. I mean, I sold a couple of game used bats out there to a real nice Jose Canseco collector. His first name is Bruce. I can't remember his second name. He lives in New York, and I sold him a Yankees bat with full identification from Steiner, who has a deal with the Yankees organization. And this guy was like tickled pink, And I sold him a Texas Rangers bat, and he's like, John, I says, look at the garbage that's out there selling them for like $300-$400.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a piece of pine tar on the bat, And then we talk about the 1/1s, and he's really not into cards.
Yeah, that's two different types of collectors, I think.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
I have a very nice card. I don't think anybody has over 200 rated rookies signed.
No.
First off,
no.
I don't think there's any player out there that knows somebody who has 200 signed cards of themselves to that one person. And even Jose says, he goes, if I ever make the Hall of Fame, he says you'll be rich. And I says, I don't care if you make the Hall of Fame. I've always said that from the beginning.
Exactly.
I said, I mean, if you have if you have a child that plays a sport, you don't care if they make the Hall of Fame or not.
Right.
And you want to collect or own what they have. That's somebody's opinion, Hall of Fame. I mean, we all know out there who should be in there, and who's like Pete Rose should be in there.
Yep.
I mean, hands down.
Agreed.
Just by athletic ability.
4,000 hits. Come on.
There's got to be a couple of the players. I'm not a fan of Bonds, but with his record, with his stats, he should be in there. McGuire.
Yep.
But these guys lied, and they should have just told the truth in the beginning. I have no respect for McGuire. One, and when I talk with Jose with this, and I get like real upped, real pumped.
Yeah.
I go, fuck McGuire. And he's like, nah, Johnny. I said, no. What do you mean? The guy didn't admit it right away. He was scared. He cried on St. Patrick's Day during the hearing. I mean, an Irishman crying on St. Patrick's Day. I'm not here to talk about the past. I'll only be positive for the future. Sammy Sosa. I have nothing really against Sammy Sosa.
Right.
He needed an interpreter, which was like, come on. He said he only took Flintstone vitamins.
Yeah.
He never took steroids. What I didn't like about Sosa is, the guy got caught with a corked bat. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yep.
I mean, they asked John Kruk. I remember one time he was hosting a show, John Kruk, and he said, "Why do you think he corked his bat?" He says, "I don't know. The guy hits the ball 400 feet. He wants to hit it 500 feet.
Right.
It makes no sense." I don't really like him. Who's the pitcher? Kurt Schilling.
Yep.
He was just so arrogant. You could see that he never liked Jose. During the interview, if you remember, in the hearing.
Yeah.
I never saw nobody with steroids in baseball. That guy was just,
Yes.
And God struck him down because I think he lost like all his stocks and money, and the guy's poor. The God works in mysterious ways. And Palmeiro sticking his finger there. Palmeiro and Jose were close friends ever since Miami, Florida.
Yeah.
And he really thought that Rafael was going to be the one to come out with Jose.
He didn't. Dude, and was like, I'm telling you right now, you dick, I did not do that.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa.
I mean, if you're supposed to be friends, he should have said, all right, Jose, I'll back you up with this. But he would have been no more playing. He had the 500 home runs. He would have been banned. No, everybody ran for cover.
Yeah.
Even Juan Gonzalez, who I admired when he played with Canseco. In fact, the McGuire was. I wasn't ever a big McGuire fan, but when Canseco went to Texas, I says, you got another new Bash brother, Gonzalez and Canseco.
Yep.
And I'm kind of partial to the Latino baseball players because I always thought they were the best since I was a kid.
Absolutely.
We used to do fantasy. We used to do fantasy baseball back then, and like we just do points for like a hit, second, doubles, triples. My whole team would be Latino. and I'd win every year. Edgar Martinez is a third baseman, Palmeiro at first, Canseco, Juan Gonzalez, Ivan Rodriguez, the greatest catcher of all time, you could say.
Yeah.
Deliska, Carlos Baerga at second. It's just incredible.
Yep.
But
as far as collectability goes, too, with Canseco, what I'm noticing on a lot of his prices is I can look him up in Beckett, and Beckett is, is the price guide that everybody goes by. So, and Canseco's listed as a semi-star. He's in the back.
I know.
Some of his stuff is, some of his cards you can look up the set and it will be there. But most of the time you have to go to the section that says semi-star, which is, for me and a Canseco collector, is awesome because that technically values this card way lower than what's out there. And when I say that there's still collectability, is most of his cards are far higher than this semi-star label that Beckett, the grading gods and price guide gods have put on him. So it's actually pretty promising that there is, even though he's a semi-star level guy, according to the industry, that us as fans and collectors have him rated much higher than that, I think. And that was just something that I've been noticing lately as I start, buying more and more cards online.
Well, yeah, we know he's not a common.
Right. He's not a common, that's for sure. But, and then when people know, shoot, speaking of cards, though, you said you don't collect many cards besides the handprint collection that I'd like to chat about in a second. Are there?
Oh, geez. You want to hear the story about that?
I do, but I want to also know if there's any other cards besides the 86 rated rookie that you have or that you're kind of like trying to find for your collection. I mean, is there anything out there right away, yep, I need this card right away?
In cards, no. But now that you mentioned it, if there was one card, like what card are you really looking for? I guess it would be the 9 of 10 handprint cards.
There you go.
Well,
tell me about the 10 of 10 handprint card and why there's only like 8 maybe total or 9 total in the world.
Okay, well, let me start by we were going to New York. I think it's I forget the name of the address at Topps in New York. I think the address is Wall Street. Yeah. It's got a weird address. I can't remember off the top of my head, but we went there and we're inside, and I mean the rooms in there are beautiful where the players go to sign. There's posters of all different old-fashioned baseball cards around the wall.
Cool.
And it's like, they have press sheets. They had a press sheet made out of wood, die cast or embossed. The press sheet was gorgeous. Yes. And it's, you don't get to see that stuff. So we're sitting there, and he was signing those 100 cards. It's like a 5x7 card. He's a young Oakland A. I might have seen them on eBay. There's only like 99 of them, I believe. But it's a 5x7 print, real nice card. I tried to get one of those. I was trying to get 33 of 99.
For sure.
They're like, oh no, you can't. No, I got to. I'm like, oh, okay, So Jose's like, John. I'm like, okay. So then we went there for handprint cards. They were, I think they're 8x11, and they actually were testing it out like some new ink. He had to pour this ink all over a sponge. This guy, his name was John, working for Topps, and he goes to do the first handprint, and he didn't push his hand. His hand, like when he put it down on the paper, was like a spider.
Oh, okay.
Because as you get old, even my hand too, it's hard to flat down.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one he did, it looked like a muskrat or a raccoon hand on the paper. Even my wife too. She's like, oh, yeah, it looks like a muskrat or a raccoon to print.
So these cards are the size of an 8x10, right? Like these are huge.
They're 8x10, 8.5 by 11.
Okay.
And it's on thick cardboard.
Cool.
It has a swatch that's supposedly from a jersey.
Nice.
On the card and a signature. So he signed all the cards first, and then they're ready to do the handprint. So he did the first one. The first one looked like shit. It's on eBay. You could see it. I think it's numbered. It actually was the first one that he did, but when Topps numbered them by hand, it was numbered, I think, around 4 or 5.
Okay.
And it looked horrible. And he's like, well, should I put it back down? And the guy says, no, because it'll look like a double print. It'll look horrible.
Yeah.
So the next 9 that he did were better. He put his hand down and put his other hand on top of it to apply pressure.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm drooling. I'm saying, look at these friggin' cards. The first time, I mean, it's kind of personal because it's his handprint. They make you put a glove on because they don't want to mess with the fingerprints because with technology coming up in the
Oh,
future,
geez.
you know, you put your thumbprint on something and a door will open up for you. So they're
Jeez.
trying to avoid that.
Good
But
call.
just because it was the first time he did something like this, I'm saying to the guy, I says, listen, can I have the one that looks like a raccoon? I mean, no. I says, well, can I make a copy of it, like on a printer? And he's like, no. So I'm like, well, I'm going to take pictures. You can take pictures, right? So I took a lot of pictures. I have them in the album with the main cards.
Yeah.
Because there's like the story behind it.
Definitely.
So he got done with the 10 cards, and he taking the glove off. Before he took the glove off, Jose looks at me. He sees like I must have been like a kid ready to cry or something. He dips his hand in the ink, right, with all the black ink. He goes, John, come here. I had this big yellow shirt on.
No.
He put his hand right on my chest and pushed.
Oh, nice.
And it looked awesome, the print. Because, you know, you got all that cushion on your body.
Yep.
I mean, he didn't have to push his hand down. I mean, all my fat or whatever just pushed into it. So they had a president there, some big top executive of Topps in the room in a, you know, 3-piece suit. And he looks, he goes, that's the nicest print out of all of them. And it was. So he saw I was sad and upset, and he goes, come here, John, give me your shirt. He goes, now you got a handprint.
Mm-hmm.
And he signed it later. I think I have it on eBay in the collection. He signed the date, New York Topps. And he says, now you got one, you know, because he really, you know, Jose's got a really big heart. I see him many times when we're out, you know, the guy's very caring to a lot of different people too.
That's
you
awesome.
know,
Very cool.
I see a lot of athletes that are selfish and like, you know, let's go. I got to go somewhere. Not this guy. He's very patient and just, you know.
I hope to meet him.
So the guy, John, who got done, you know, with the event, we're ready to leave. And he says to Jose, he goes, next time, don't bring him.
You?
Yeah. Now, I'm a true Gemini. I'm the nicest guy in the world too.
Right.
But don't embarrass me in front of my wife or, you know, someone like Jose. So I looked at that guy and I says, don't say that, with a straight face. And Jose says, come on, John, let's go. So we're getting downstairs. They cut him his check. He got his regular check or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like steaming. I'm saying, son of a bitch, who the fuck are you to talk about me something like that? You know what I'm saying? You know, why don't we walk across the street from your job?
And say that again.
And you say that to me, you know, again. So Jose's like, don't worry about it. So from that time, I made it my mission. I said, I'm going to get all 10 of those fucking cards now.
That's awesome.
And when we go back to Topps, I'll have my binder there. And I'll say, oh, John, look, you like these? and let them like, what? So what happened was I got the first 5 right off the bat.
How do you get them? You didn't yourself pull them out of like their redemptions, right?
Of course not. And I didn't walk out with them either.
Right.
But
right.
in the description, the way I wrote it, I put when I had the first 5, 1 through 5, I had them on eBay, and I wrote, "Thanks for Topps for making this happen." Right. So people, other collectors and dealers, like major dealers that buy bulk, were pissed. I forgot the name. DM3 was that? It's on the internet if you search. And they sent all these emails to Topps saying, "Who the hell is this guy to come up with 5, the best 5?" You know, they were saying because of the first ones, right. The first numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. How did he walk out? And the girl's like trying to explain some girl for Topps. Says he didn't walk out with them. He's a friend of Jose's. He was here for the event. They said, well, how did he get them? And she says he must have got them on a secondary market.
Yep.
I mean, it's illegal to walk out with them.
Right.
So I just really dug it in and turned that screw, right? So now I go and get the next one. And I think it was, there's no number 6.
Why?
I think that's what's, no number 6. I think there's a no number 5. I forget offhand. But whatever the number was, I contact the guy who's selling one. And he says, oh, what number is it? I believe he said it was 6 or 7. Whatever, let's say it was 6.
Okay.
I says, oh, he goes, what's the matter? I says, I have 1 through 4. I says, I wonder where 5 went. And he says, I had 5. I says, oh, where is it? He says, it came folded in half. Hey. It was totally destroyed. He sent me a picture of it. And I says, well, what'd you do with it? He goes, I sent it back to Topps, and they sent me the next number. I says, cool, so I'm still on the streak.
Yes.
I believe it was number 6 that was destroyed. I think it's 1 through 5 I have. Whatever it is, you see it on eBay. So I said, okay, I got 1 through 5. Now I got 7. Then I got 8. Damn. Then 10 came up on eBay. And I did what all those people, you know who they are. They contact the owner. Before it's even had a chance to run its course. Hey, how much do you want if you stop the auction?
Yep.
And you're like, and that's unfair.
Yes.
But I learned from the best, and I says, I don't care. This set, I got to bug up my ass for this. I got number 10, and the guy says, no, he never had number 9. So 9 is missing, and it's going on 4 years now.
Damn.
Some guy tried to prank me. He said that he had it in his closet, and I kept contacting him. I think he was just being a real jerk off.
Oh man!
Because he never put it up. He never put it up, and I got into an argument with him. I was just calling his bluff. and if you know me, you start aggravating me. I'll be like, "Oh well, fuck you, you weasel."
Right.
So it's still not out there, and if somebody has it, I mean, they're going to contact me. They're going to get a pretty penny for it.
Yes.
And that other eccentric that does the videos on YouTube, he wants it.
Oh, he wants it bad.
We all know who he is. I forgot his name offhand. Do you remember his name, Chris?
Oh, is that Tan Man the baseball?
You know what? It might be. But another cute story. He called me up maybe a year or two ago, and he said, and I told him the story. Well, I just told you. And he says, John, haven't you proved your point now? You got 8 of them. We all, I understand you were hurt. That guy pissed you off, or embarrassed you. He said, but okay, time's passed now. Why don't you sell one? And I was like, nope, sorry.
Nope.
Because they're not just 10 of them in the world. They're really individual one-of-ones because every print is different.
Definitely, yeah.
So to me, it's like they're all one-of-ones.
They're probably the coolest cards I've ever seen. As far as like cards, you can still call it a card because it's like a big ass jumbo. They're probably the coolest ones out there. It's far more cooler. Oh, go ahead, yeah. And
no, they made a second edition. They're like 12 by 18.
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's an oversized one, 12 by 18, and I think one of the other big collectors, I forgot his name, if it's Silver Bullet or something like that. I outbid him for number 10. And he must have been pissed. It might have been 600-700. I forget.
Damn.
And I mean, but see, if you know, I owned 7 of them at the time.
Yes.
Right. 1 was destroyed. That's 8. 9 wasn't out there. And the guy lists number 10. Why didn't you bid $1,000, $2,000?
Mm-hmm.
I own all of them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go after the other one if you knew the story.
Yep.
Off a Tan Man. The guy didn't do it. Oh, so But so a couple people contacted me the next year. I think it was 2015. They came out with the 12 by 18. It's only a handprint, and I think the card is signed, but there's no swatch.
Oh, okay.
And of course, it's more oversized. So there's 20 of those that were made, not 10. And I had 2 or 3 big collectors call me up and say, ha, you're not going to be able to get all these. There's 20 of them, and I got one. Like breaking my balls. And I'm just like, why are you doing this to me? I'm not doing anything to anybody.
Right.
I told you the reason why I did it. So I says, oh, great for you. I says, but just remember, you have 2nd edition. I have 1st edition.
Exactly.
So, congratulations. I finally found one 12 by 18. It wasn't that much. I think it was like maybe 200 a guy put it up for. But,
not bad.
No, it wasn't bad for what they sell for, but still, there's 20 of them compared to the 1st edition.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think for some reason it's been 4 years that number 9 of 10 must have been destroyed.
Gosh, you'd think so.
I mean, and I'm not one to call up Topps or like, oh, what happened to this? I mean, they must hate those people that call them up. With real annoying shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I mean, the world is so opened up right now with television, with YouTube, with internet. If there's something out there, you'll find it.
Absolutely.
So I really don't know what happened to that number 9 card, but and if somebody wanted something like say they wanted like $3,000 for it, if I didn't have the money for it, I'd probably give them something else that I have in the collection.
Exactly. Exactly.
Maybe a driver's license. Maybe. I mean, that I can't understand either. There's one driver's license went for like $200 and something. In fact, it was my new Canseco friend from New York, Bruce. He says, John, I think you outbid me for that. And I'm just like, dude, it's a driver's license that he had in his ass pocket for 4 years. Every time he got pulled over doing 100 miles an hour, he had to pull that out. It's probably got his thumbprint all over it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on, there's nostalgia. How did you not bid more than 200 on that? You're paying 101s if it's a trademark card by Topps with the logos is selling for 500. I sold one for 1,500. The clear acetate with the red signature.
Oh,
it was
beautiful. Beautiful.
You know, I think I paid 13, and I think I sold it for 15. You know, it was a beautiful card, but I'm like, the hell with it.
Yeah.
But come on, you're talking about a license that there's only one in 4 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you didn't go. I mean, so I look at it as, I mean, and then, you know, God forbid you know your house is on fire and you got to leave. What are you going to grab? Up 40-40 set, World Series ring, driver's licenses, and passports.
Right, and then the wife. Yeah, the wife.
Well, no, the wife will be yelling, "Let's go get more! Let's go get more!"
That's awesome.
I got the best wife in the world. She's so loyal, and she knows I'm loyal to her.
That's awesome. And
I'm trying to get her to learn about Canseco, learn about the value. You know, she knows about the value of things. Mm-hmm. But she just doesn't, you know, she's a fan of McGuire. And I go, McGuire? She says, oh, he's handsome. I says, have you seen him lately?
Yeah.
He looks like Papa Smurf. With the gray hair, the gray beard. Yeah. Are you kidding me? And another reason why I don't like McGuire is, if you remember, he says, I'll never accept Jose's apology.
Yep. Yeah.
And I won't sign something that Jose has already signed. That's why when I hear something like that, I'm like, go take a fucking walk.
Yeah, I don't care for him anymore either then.
He's got a son, too. Is that the example you give to your son?
Yeah.
I mean, my worst enemy, if I had to for the right reason, I bow down my head and say, listen, I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. That's the most manliest thing you could do. What he said in that one interview I heard, I don't know if you heard it, correct?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
He won't accept his apologies. He won't sign something that's already signed by Jose.
Yeah.
Who the fuck are you? I mean... Come on now.
Right. You were relevant 20 years ago, Mark McGuire. Yeah. Fucking A.
And even back then, he wasn't the ladies' man. You know, he didn't have the looks like Jose. Okay, he had the power. But come on, you know. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He wasn't entertaining, you know. Like even Jeter. Jeter's one of the greatest players of all time.
Yeah.
But he wasn't really that entertaining.
No.
He was very quiet, professional, you know. But nothing... You know, maybe he, like Wade Boggs is a great player too. But you know, you want to see a guy hit 4 out of 4 base hits, or a guy crush 1 home run, out of the stadium. I'd rather see that.
I think so.
I remember going to Shea Stadium and watching Dwight Gooden play Clemens, and the end of the game was like 1-0. And I'm just like. I did appreciate the pitching part of it, but I'm like, come on, 1-0?
Right, I'm here to see some home runs.
Oh, but Gooden was incredible. It was like lightning, and then going against Clemens was amazing. It's just,
Definitely.
You want to see some home run hitters. Chicks dig the long ball,
For sure. When you say that Jose goes and does these Topps thing, do you know, is it like right now the cards for 2018 are out, and he has some autographs on those. Let's say, do you know like how long ago he would have signed those?
I could put like a window on the ones that I saw him sign.
Yeah.
That I had seen him sign. Boy, that was bad English. Actually, I know Tanner, and he's a very, very nice guy. Sometimes we don't see eye to eye on things.
Right, we kid.
And I say it like it is. I don't want to hurt his feelings or anybody else's, but sometimes I can be abrupt, and stubborn or whatever. But I just stick to my view, and I want them to stick to their view and respect them. But we did a show for all those Leaf cue cards.
Oh yeah,
that are out there. There's like all different types of patches.
Yeah, they're nice.
And he's sitting out. I got them in my hands, all the 101s, and I'm like, wow. So I'm taking pictures of them. And I'm sending them to Tanner, and he's like, he's freaking out. And I'm saying, Tanner, look at these. and the 101 had like the elephant patch with the A's logo.
Yummy.
And he wound up getting them. I think he paid $500,000. He's buying them all.
Yeah.
But he thought it was cool how he has the pictures before they were signed.
That is pretty cool, definitely.
And I'm like dropping them on the floor,
Right, like licking them.
Maybe I could take one, stick one in my sock, But What am I going to do with it? Show it off and then get arrested?
Right.
I mean,
Tanner's never going to come onto this fucking podcast now.
Why wouldn't he?
No, when I first got really back into collecting and everything, of course I came across Tanner's stuff, and so I contacted him, and we were set up to do an interview like this, but unfortunately I had to decline because some of the content on this podcast isn't very child friendly or kid friendly. It's very rated R in a lot of my other ones, and as are my opinions on things, Well,
so, he's I don't know if he's real religious, but I know he's I really respect his, and he's a true gentleman.
Yeah,
let's put it that way.
For sure. And when I'm podcasting with somebody that I know I can kind of be more myself with, I'll let an F-bomb drop here or there, a shit or whatever, But when I'm also, I've also podcasted with politicians and people that are far more advanced in areas than me, and when I do that, it's 100% clean, So I can turn it off and turn it on, but out of respect, if he doesn't want to do it, that's totally cool. But I was really interested in knowing a lot of, had a lot of questions for him because he's a card collector. But as I collect more, I realize that I don't know what it is about him. I don't want to sit here and bash the guy. No.
I don't think it's just. I think people look at him like, I'll be honest. I'll tell you how I feel about him. I look at him, and he's just real devoted to what he does.
Yeah, agreed.
And I've also told him I know a lot of people. I won't say their names.
Mm-hmm.
I might have told Tanner who they are. I could care less. I'm not scared of nobody.
Right.
But people say, "Oh, he gobbles up all the cards, and he dominates the internet." I told the same story to Tanner. I says, "Well, what are you going to have to do? You're going to have to dominate the internet. Mm-hmm. You're going to have to maybe watch eBay refresh every couple of minutes. Mm-hmm. Do what you got to do. Don't complain about what he's doing. If it bothers you that much, well, then go after it harder."
That's true.
True. Go back to those first handprint cards. That's insane that I have 8 of them.
Yeah, it is, dude.
I mean, that's like unfathomable. It's like I have like Thor behind me protecting me. Mm-hmm. It's just insane. It's like godly. Like it's impossible. I mean, come on, it's close to impossible.
I agree 100%, man. I'm jealous as hell.
So why don't you go after him? Put up a YouTube video. Do whatever you got to do. Start challenging, because I know some other collectors. They probably have maybe more money than Tanner, a bigger bankroll, but they're not aggressive.
True.
So don't get mad or hate him for that. Just be more aggressive. That's what I would do.
That's for sure. But what like I said, I went to a card show today, and this was so random that I went to this card show, and an hour and a half from where I live, nobody knows me, and as soon as the question dropped what I'm there for, and I said Jose Canseco's name, these 2 dudes were like, "Oh, do you know who Tanner Jones is?" I was like, Jesus Christ, he travels well.
Yep.
He travels well. And I'm like, yeah, I do. And
he has an unfair advantage over every Canseco collector in the world.
But here's the thing, though, man. They smiled like coyly. And I don't know, but it sounded like that they like him because they can fucking sell their Cansecos for damn near twice the fucking price. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of shitty. But it is what it is. It is what it is, but it's just it puts it just sucks, I guess, kind of for me, I guess, someone who would like to try to hunt one of these, and then I know that somebody will just, it's no matter what, will just overbid me. So the best I can do is make them pay twice as much and try to outbid them, and Storage Wars style, and just try to bid them up and then leave them with having to pay twice as much. I mean, it's kind of unfair.
I love his passion. I respect his passion. I love his YouTube videos.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know about the last one that he released like yesterday.
What was that, Tanner? I don't want to listen to your wife.
I know, he's like joking for half the video. And I think he showed 4 printing plates. He just got the yellow printing plate.
Yep, got
that. It wasn't to me. And where was his mustache?
Yeah, dude, you can't make a video.
Did he sell it? Did he make a card out of his mustache?
Yes.
A 1 of 1?
Yes.
Did he? I don't know. But I saw he had no mustache. He had something on his chinny chin chin.
Yep. Yeah.
And I said, what the hell's going on? This ain't like his videos, you know?
Yep. Yeah, I said the same thing to my wife. I was like, what the hell is this?
It was bizarre. It was bizarre.
It was bizarre, that's for sure.
Yes.
But
so
you know, he hunts down the cards, and I came across an example of the 2018 Topps Salute. It's a great shot of Jose watching one get smashed out of the ballpark. He's sporting a nice little 8 o'clock shadow, a nice thin little beard going. But,
I saw that one, yeah.
So I have the regular base, and it's a beautiful card, great autograph. And then the 1/1 comes up for like 6 days on eBay. So I'm watching it, and I think it went from somewhere a little under $300 or so. But what I didn't understand is, and maybe on that particular one, but
that was a blank back, I believe.
Oh, was it a blank back? Because what I was thinking is, I didn't understand on the front. It just looked the same. I mean, there was nothing insinuating besides the mini stamp that said 1/1. There wasn't anything special.
Yeah, there's a stamp on the back that says 1/1, and it's just like a blank back card.
Oh, okay. Well, there's a little bit more uniqueness to it then. Okay. Because I really thought that legitimately the only difference was this little stamp, and to me, my type of collecting, I'm just not going to pay $260 extra for the 1/1 stamp versus the $10 one that I have. It looks just as awesome and gives me the same feeling when I get it out of my package from eBay. You know,
and there's a lot of jealousy in it, and it takes the fun out. I've talked to a couple of big collectors. I sold a card many years ago. It was a 1/1. I think it was 1994. I forget the year offhand. But I called the guy up, contacted him, and there was another big collector years ago, Canseco King, if you remember?
Ooh, no, I don't know.
His name was Canseco King. He had his own website. This was before Tanner. He had wound up, something happened in his life, remember? And he sold off his collection. And this guy got that 1/1. So I called him up maybe a couple of weeks ago, and I says, hey, you still have it in your collection? He goes, of course I'd have it. And I see him doing a lot of trades with Tanner and other guys, giving up stuff. So I says, you know what? I really like that card back. It was my first 1/1. Mm-hmm. And I've done a lot of, I don't want to come out with the person, but I did a lot of things for him. You know, I'm very generous when it comes to trades or giving up something, and
I believe it.
He's like, no, absolutely not. And I'm just like, well, the card means a lot to me. I said, I'll give you something really rare or game used or something for the card. It was like a $500 card back then. Mm-hmm. So if you want to up it a little bit more, and he just like, no, not even a question, not even trying to negotiate. And I see a lot of people like this. There's another guy in California. There's this little chubby Mexican guy. And I sold him like game used bats for like $80. I got off Jose. Nice. And he's a good friend at the time, doing deals back and forth. He had something one time. I says, "Oh, can I get a real good deal on that? Like a bat or something for like around the same price?" Oh no, I can't do that.
Yeah, of course.
And that's what makes my stomach like rot. I'm just like, mm-hmm. I'm like, I always go above and beyond for friends, family. And maybe I'll say to my wife, is this really right? Mm-hmm. How many times you give the person the favor? You ask for one favor, and they just treat you like. So that's, and I don't care if the people know who I'm talking about or not, but you know what? I always have luck. You always have luck in life for that.
Mm-hmm. Good karma.
Because whether it's jealousy because they know what other things you might own or whatever. And the perfect example was I was with Jose in the last event. I asked him for his ID tag, NBC California Sports.
Yeah, I saw that in one of your
the lanyard. Yeah. There's a picture of him in a suit. He's wearing it. And I called him up. I said, Jose, you still have this? And he's like, yep. I says, when we get together in, I think it was White Plains or Saratoga, I says, could you, save it for me? Yeah, no problem. Jeez. The guy gives me the lanyard, the ID tag with the lanyard. He gives me his shirt. He gives me his jacket. He signed an NBC hat. And I'm just like, I says, dude, what about, he goes, I'll get new stuff. I don't want it. And I wanted to cry. I was so happy. I'm like,
no doubt.
I was in shock. Mm-hmm. I mean, to him, that's nothing. But he knows what it means to me.
That's what's cool about it.
I steal his clothes. I steal a shirt, a jacket here and there. That one suit that he has with all the patches on it. You ever see that one dress jacket?
I think so. Yes.
I had it in my hotel room, and I tried to fit into it, and it was like, fat man little coat.
Right.
The fat man. And I took a picture wearing the sunglasses. And he goes, John, where's my jacket? I said, I got it in my room. So then I was sending him the pictures of me doing the selfies.
Yeah.
And I says, oh, I ripped your suit. I threw it out. He's like, John, I need my suit back. Or we'll go to the movies. He'll forget his wallet inside the cup holder.
Oh.
And we're getting ready to leave. My wife, him, me, and maybe another couple, a friend of ours. And I see he leaves his wallet. I pick up the wallet. We get all the way, John, my wallet. I said, oh, this? I go, here you go. I said, check, make sure your license is in there. He goes, are you serious? I said, I didn't take it. The guy's very trustworthy.
Definitely.
We've gone out to dinner, me and my wife with him, and he'd go to the bathroom and leave the wallet. He goes, John, his wallet. I says, he knows I would never take anything from it.
Right.
I said, yeah, look, we're looking at it and stuff like that. Comes back, The guy's got a big heart. But like I said, all that NBC stuff, that was his first year doing it. When he does it this year or how many years, it's still the first year.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And I said something to him. I says, Jose, this really means a lot to me. I says, I try not to take advantage,
Right.
But, I love to collect. And he looked at me and he says, John, you're the only guy that likes me. So I don't know what pissed him off. Maybe he's been screwed many times.
For sure.
He's done events and stuff, and people haven't paid. There's a lot of stuff you don't see out there or hear about. And he says, John, sometimes I think you're the only one that cares about me. And that's like, oof.
Right.
Because people
huge.
Yeah, people treat him like still. He'll walk down the street and still have people like they'll say hello, but you get the hecklers.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a great YouTube video that he's getting into a white car.
Yeah, I saw
I'm
that.
sure you've seen it. I think he had his girlfriend at the time, Layla, his daughter.
Yep.
And he's signing some autographs as they're flashing the cameras, and someone yells out, "Nobody cares about you, Jose."
Yep.
And nobody cares about you, fat ass. He says, "Why don't you come over here and say it to my face?" He's not like that. But you embarrassed him in front of his wife, in front of his girlfriend, in front of his daughter, and in front of television cameras. That's a different story.
Yep.
You see, and if we saw that, you could just imagine how many other times they've said stuff to him.
Oh, 100%. And unfortunately, those things only make TMZ and not all the good shit that he's doing out there.
And back in the day, of course, the blacks in baseball come a long way with the Jackie Robinson. When he came up, he was one of the biggest popular Spanish ball players in my mind.
Yep.
There was nobody bigger than Jose, Spanish-wise. And you'd hear in the stands, "You fucking spick," and fuck, speak English. Just like the blacks, what they went through in baseball, I'm telling you, I went to games and I heard Jose have to go through it.
That's fucking horrible.
And the only time he went after was that one guy in Yankee Stadium because he talked about his wife, which you could see, that he blew his cool.
Yep.
He's never charged the mound. I don't remember him ever charging the mound when a pitcher threw a ball. Never. So when people always gave him the bad publicity and this, he drives the car fast. He had a loaded gun in his car.
Yep.
That's all. It was all. He wrecked his wife's car. He crashed his car into his wife's car. He owned both cars.
Right.
I think it was an accident that what he says, but I could see her pissing him off and him running and tapping her car. He wasn't trying to kill her.
Right.
He could care less. He could buy 2 new cars the next day at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, when I look at that, he really had a lot of hard times too. Another time I had mentioned to him, he was still in his uniform. I think it was the earthquake.
Yeah, the World Series earthquake. Yeah.
And they said Jose Canseco lets his wife pump gas.
I remember that. That was
right.
Like a newscast.
Yeah, he told me that story recently, about a month ago, and he says that she went out pump gas. She goes, "You're in your uniform. You can't pump gas. We'll be mobbed here."
Yep.
So she got out. I think she had a big red dress on, and people recognized the car, or her, of course. They always try to screw him. Always try to, hurt him.
Yeah, and as a kid, I was 9, so I didn't know shit. So I just believed whatever I heard that on ESPN because this was pre-social media and internet. So all I heard was, that that my hero, my baseball star, was a drunk driving, gun toting, wife beating dude, and I'm like, what? What? But
a lot of jealousy.
I cared, you know. As a kid, I didn't really care so much. I just liked watching him play baseball. So I wasn't like a grown man at that time to go out and be heckling and do all that shit. So I never really understood all of that. But now as a grown man, and I can look back on all that stuff and actually hear from him and put all those pieces together, you realize what horse shit it is. And it's all just the media turning shit left and right, and very fucking unfortunate and very fucking ridiculous.
And I've seen him too with like girlfriends and stuff, and I'd say this girl really don't care about him, you know.
Yeah,
you could tell they're using him for his fame and stuff like that. I mean, the guy's got a heart and got feelings too, you know.
Yeah,
he's a monster and all that stuff, you know, swinging the bat. But I think a lot of people took advantage of him and probably still do.
100%. I agree. When's the next time you're going to see him? Like, when do you guys have an event maybe?
He's got that project in Vegas where he's doing it 4 nights a week. I know he's got a home run derby, I believe, in June.
Nice.
In Ohio.
Okay.
So I don't know. You know, he's been out here like a good 4 or 5 events in the last 6-7 months. And I've been spoiled. But before that, it was like a year before he came out here. Because
there's rumors in where I stay is near the Madison Mallards, which is a kind of a minor league team or whatnot. But it used to be obviously the Madison Muskies where they play. And so when you go into Mallards Park, there's pictures of Jose and a lot of other famous guys that have come through. And the rumor mill around there is that he's coming back this year for a signing and a bit of a home run event or something like that. So I don't know if you've heard of anything, you know. As far as I know, it sounds like, you know, he's coming as close as Ohio, though.
He's playing for a team called, it has like an ear of corn with 2 big bulging eyes.
Shit,
I forget the name of the. It's a minor league team. I can't remember the name of it offhand, but I know he's doing a 3-day event there where he's playing for the team.
Would you go to something like that, or do you only hook up with him on the East Coast?
I'd probably only stay on the East Coast.
Okay, gotcha.
It would be nice to take a trip out there for the event, but it'd have to be like the right time and place.
Right, 100%. I agree.
And what I do as a profession, I sometimes work 7 days a week.
Right.
10 hours a day. So, I mean, if he was making a Hall of Fame, then I guess everything would drop, and me and my wife would be there.
Right, for sure.
You know, so you know, he was almost voted into the Hall of Fame and missed it by 1 vote. Nobody knows about that.
No, I didn't even know about that.
Yep, I heard that. Whether it's true or not, I don't know why they lie about that, but he missed it by 1 vote.
God.
And see, that's what just takes the thing away, because it's like, you know, if you let McGuire in and you let Bonds in.
Exactly.
I remember one time he said there's a Hall of Famer that he believes is in the Hall of Fame that did steroids.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to say who said it was, but it was supposed to be, believe it or not, Nolan Ryan.
Wow.
And I was just like, wow. I says, you know, because people were thinking, like, who was it? You know, some people said Ricky Henderson. And they're like, nah, he's too skinny. And then I swore it was Reggie Jackson.
Right.
Because if you remember, it was Naked Gun 2.5, where he came from the outfield playing for the Angels.
Yes.
And he lifts open second base and takes the gun out. He was ripped as hell.
Yes.
And then he did a old timers game where he hit a home run in it. I said, had to be Reggie Jackson. Nope. And what it was Nolan Ryan.
Well, look at his
7 or 8 no hitters he had. We had finished 8 of them.
Maybe 7, I think, and over 5,000 strikeouts. I mean,
but
not to mention a 20-year career, which is unheard of.
Why doesn't anybody go after him? The guy's general manager of the Texas Rangers. He's a legend.
That's why, right there, he's a fucking legend. Unfortunately, he's just like that elite tier of untouchables.
Why didn't they go after Ivan Rodriguez?
Yeah,
Jose said in his book and took polygraphs.
Mm-hmm.
I injected him. Why did they protect Ivan Rodriguez? He is the greatest catcher probably of all time. some old timers might say Johnny Bench.
Right.
But I mean, why didn't they go after Ivan Rodriguez? They just stopped headhunting. I mean,
feel like they just did what they did. Found a
why didn't why didn't Major League Baseball or the Senate or whatever in that meeting that they had? Why didn't they say, listen, either Jose's lying or Ivan Rodriguez is lying? Let's find out the truth.
Right. Right.
Like they did with Clemens. They dropped everything with Clemens. They dropped everything with Bonds.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but he feels bad that he wrote that book still, you know, because it didn't. I mean, you can understand why he wrote it.
Correct.
But the repercussions afterwards. I mean, he lost a lot of stuff. But now, as the years are going on, the respect level is just rising. I believe.
I think so too.
You got to understand why he did it. He wasn't trying to be a bastard, but he just lost his livelihood. They blackballed him wherever he went.
Mm-hmm.
The Expos, you cut him the day before spring training, when all you have is Vladimir Guerrero.
Right. Where
him and Guerrero would have been another Bash brother twin. The two of them together. Are you crazy?
Yep.
I got into a fight with Frank Robinson at a show because of that. I says, can I ask you? He goes, well, yeah, can I help you? He was real aggressive, Frank Robinson. I says, how do you cut Jose the day before spring training? And he yells at me, he goes, what did he tell you? He wasn't promised nothing.
Jeez.
I says, well, I'm just saying, though. Are you? And he just went on, he wasn't promised nothing and blah, blah, blah. I said, all right. So Jose says, John, what are you doing? I said, what? I'm having a conversation. I'm questioning him why. You know, it's unfair. And then you went to the Angels and they cut you 2 days before spring training.
And you look at his stats, man, and it wasn't something I didn't notice until it was either in the book or he also has a new movie out on Amazon Prime. I forget what the heck it's called off the top of my head. I don't know if it's
The Truth Hurts.
That's it, right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And shit, what the hell was I talking about there? Damn, I just thought.
But Chris, even now, he's still doing home run derbies and stuff. I mean, of course, it's not 90-mile-an-hour fastballs, but the guy has always. One guy wrote an article where everybody was bashing him and stuff, you know, around 1992 and stuff. And he says, what a good example this guy is as an athlete. The guy takes care of his body. He doesn't do drugs. You know, I mean, okay, if he was doing steroids, he wasn't doing like marijuana or cocaine.
Right.
He wasn't drinking. He kept his body in perfect shape. I mean, how could he not be an athlete to idol? You know, to mimic.
I agree, man. I agree.
I mean, it's all BS. I mean, here's the president of the United States with these. You got these porn stars coming out tonight, right? They're doing interviews.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody cares. Nobody cares.
That's true, man.
I just think as time goes on, whoever has Canseco memorabilia, I think it's money in the bank. I don't think you're taking a risk at all.
No way.
And for years, I'd hear people say to me, "Oh, why didn't you collect McGuire like you collected Canseco?" I said, "Because I don't like McGuire."
Exactly.
When he hits 70, well, geez, I really feel sorry for those guys who collected McGuire now.
Right.
I mean, honestly.
Yeah, the
guy's embarrassed.
Yeah.
A-Rod's another guy I don't like.
No.
I mean, he's getting endorsements. He did what's he on Shark Tank now?
Yeah.
I don't know what other stuff, but I'm like,
I saw him on Saturday Night Live last week, I think.
Oh, I mean, his personality, I don't really dig him. I don't think he's that entertaining. I mean, yeah, the guy was a good athlete, but he should have just admitted, you know, I only did steroids from 1993 to 1996. Come on now. No.
No.
He's tainted. He's tainted too. Yeah, you know. The only guy I really respect offhand is Jason Giambi. Jason Giambi came out. He said he did it.
Yep.
And when he did that, I remember he got suspended by baseball for some BS, if you remember. And I says, "Wow, look at that. They're like punishing him."
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't like Giambi either, but he was the only one that came out and admitted it.
Now you don't really hear about it anymore. Am I wrong? Is that not even in the conversation anymore? I mean, I hear steroids more or less and juicing and all this shit's more in the MMA community and shit like that now. You know,
somebody just got a 50-game ban. I heard in
So it's still going on
in baseball. Yeah, I guess it's still going on. But you know, Jose says there's so many other drugs out there that aren't even like known the names of, that they don't know how to test for them.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know,
that's big business right there. I'm sure, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't know. I really try to find another player to watch or admire or look at the history, and I just can't.
Yeah, I agree.
The only other guy comes to mind to me is Babe Ruth. I mean, I saw the movie. It just made you. I just like cried because he so much loved children.
Yeah.
You know, that you didn't see a lot of other players, but this guy was just a big kid.
Mm-hmm.
And when I remember seeing that, I remember like, wow, that's like the only guy I would like not pay attention to my Canseco collection. You know, he was just a big-hearted guy. You know.
What are you gonna do with your Canseco collection? What's the goal? I was thinking about mine the other day.
Downsize. Everything's for sale mostly.
Downsizing.
One good friend to me said, "John, you have the 40/40 collection. What's the sense of really collecting for?"
Right. So you have the top tier of everything.
You're gonna wait for 2019, cards of Topps and stuff, and it's really getting unbearable. How many different variations they're doing now?
It's tough. It's really tough. Yeah.
There's a couple of cards we do a show or a private where he's doing the signings like behind the show, and Topps or another company are shipping in like 300 cards for him to sign.
Jeez.
And I'm like, this isn't really interesting. It's boring.
Yeah.
The same card. And then you see them popping up at 30, 40, the first ones, It's like just 300 of them he signed.
Yeah.
If the security is cool, and it's really not protected. Like if you go to Topps, it's like Fort Knox over there. They got at minimum two people in the room.
No doubt.
If I wasn't with them, probably only one. When I'm with them, they got 2-3 people in the room.
Dang.
I'm trying to let me try to take one of these cards.
Exactly.
Nope. Right. They got all types of lasers off the ceiling and cameras.
Yeah.
You have no chance. I'm just, man, I like to take one of those sticker sheets with all those stickers signed, Nope.
Anything, please.
But then he does these other signings. There's no security. And the security that is working it, they could care less.
They don't care, yo.
And I'm like, that doesn't look right. That's garbage. You want me to take care of it? They're like, yeah, go ahead, throw it out. I'm like, okay.
Jeez, pocket.
Because they're annoyed,
Man, as far as collecting too, I don't really understand why. You said that you were there for the Leaf Q event, so you understand that the Leaf, I think, is a product, and Panini is a product that isn't officially licensed by MLB, so they don't even have the logos on them. So that's really a little weird as far as collecting too. Like I really am not interested in a lot of that, and myself also, I only collect Jose when he was on the A's because I was just kind of how I am. It's just what that's the memory I have. And there's still thousands of things to find, but it's, I guess, again, it's
a lot of people are only like you said, only like the A's because I have like, I lost count. Maybe, was it 2,500? I have like 2,500 cards of him signed.
Man.
And I got some guys that only like him, like in the A's uniform.
Yeah.
So
are any
I got one guy, he only wants Expos, and there's not many Expos cards of him.
Shit. No, not at all.
Yeah, guys from Canada, a different collector.
Do you mess around with like your 86 rated rookies? Do you have them all signed in a particular color, or do you try new and different types of colors, gold, silver, yellow? I noticed your yellow.
He likes black. He always says black always is the best to sign.
Okay.
I might have some of them in blue.
For sure.
That look too bad. I think they're predominantly black. I had a couple with a new yellow, like a high gloss yellow color.
I noticed the yellow that you had him sign those starting lineups with is really popping.
Yes.
I like that look a lot. I was like, oh shit.
The guy had that pen in I think it was in Boston somewhere. And I actually took the pen from him.
Nice.
I think he said he got it from Amazon somewhere. I said, I've never seen a yellow pen like this, but it really popped out. And he did a couple of black bats. They weren't game used bats. They were just replicas.
Mm-hmm.
And a friend of mine who's a police officer in my town, real nice gentleman. He has 2 sons. I had him sign him one of the bats in yellow. It looked unbelievable.
I bet.
And he's Cuban as well. And I had the 2 bats. It was like around Christmas. and I gave him the bats for his sons.
That's awesome.
And he couldn't believe, like, I'm friends with him, so a lot of people don't believe. And like I said, I've given away so much stuff that I believe. I just know I have luck for it. And the next time I see him, I don't know what I'll get from him. You know,
right.
If he does a home run hitting thing or something, I always get the shirt, the hat, the first pitch that he throws out.
Come on, that's so awesome.
And he laughs. You know, he's like,
right.
When's it going to be enough? I said, I guess when I die.
Right, never.
I mean, you know, but a cable guy. One time our cable was messed up. We had to have a cable guy come in and fix it and stuff. He was there about an hour and stuff, and you could see on my walls, it's like the Canseco Museum.
Right.
So he left, and I gave him it might have been a gamer or just a bet that he signed, and he's like, "You serious?" I says, "Yeah."
Nice.
Says, it's for you. You know, and then my wife's like, "John, why'd you give away a bet?" I said, "Don't worry about it." You know, I felt, you know, at the time the guy did us some nice stuff.
Yep.
You know, and I swear to God, Chris, it's like something will happen where it's like, I'm like, wow, I don't deserve this. But I'm telling you,
karma.
If you're good from the, it's true.
Yep.
That's why there has to be some type of God. There has to be.
You know, I bought a card from you recently off of eBay. It was a Topps 5-star. I think it was of 25, where Jose's sporting probably the greatest haircut I've ever seen on any of his cards.
I can't remember the card.
It's just this long flowing mullet that he has. It looks like he's.
Oh, I know the one.
It's so.
The signature is over like a silver.
Yes.
Silver foil on the bottom.
Yeah.
I know the card. What'd you pay for that card, Chris?
It was blue and yellow. It was of 25, and I got it from you for $23. Which
man, I hope my wife ain't listening. That's cheap.
That's what I thought too. I was like, dude, great deal. But then on top of it, I don't know if me and you had been, you know, kind of talking as much as we have been in the last week or two, you know, trying to set this up. But so like, I don't even know if you really knew me yet. And when I got the cards in the mail, A, you packaged them perfectly, but B, you sent me 9 extra cards.
Oh yeah.
You know, you knew I was a Jose fan, so you tossed in some extra. You know, I actually didn't.
I do that with a lot of buyers. If I have extra stuff, I'll just pack it in.
Yeah, that was cool as shit. And I was like, all right, this dude's legit, and he's cool, and he's a good guy. Like I can talk to you and use you as a source, as you know, of like information, and you know, just it was cool. It was cool. That gesture. I was like, all right, this dude's cool. And then from now on, at the end of my videos and shit, I throw out some shout outs to, you know, obviously if someone's watching my video about my Canseco collection, must be a fan. So I'd make sure I try to send them your way too, if they really want to see the Don Mega shit.
Yeah. I have a lot of baseball cards, and it's like, I don't know, it takes a lot of work, and I'm just losing, interest in it. I have there's certain cards that I just like the 87 green classic.
Yes.
First, I think I got like 100 of those. They're kind of hard to find.
Nice.
I'm
a big fan of like the 86, 87, 88. Like Fleer seems to have like these stickers, and all-star sticker, and like there's like 20 different subsets, and they all look cool. And they're like $1, but $5 if you want it shipped. But still, I mean, you can, you know, that's why I want to go to these more baseball card shows, because you can find some of those in 10-cent bins, you know, which is like a hunt for me, which is amazing.
I even have a couple of those because every time we do something together, he signs at least 200-300 pieces for me.
Jeez, John.
Like in one shot. And I gave him those micro Topps cards. They're only like an inch high.
Yes, I have a few. How did he sign that?
Dude, with a real thin point pen.
Dude.
And I'm waiting for him to say, like, what the frig? Like, they have those they're like half the size of a regular baseball card.
Right.
This is like 1/4 of a baseball card, if not smaller.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm waiting for him to say, like, John, what the fuck is this? You really want me to sign this under a microscope? I mean, and he doesn't say nothing, and he signs it, you know?
That's awesome.
And sometimes he waits till the last day, like we're together for 2 or 3 days. He waits on the last day, and I think he likes to torment me.
Yes.
Because I'm like, Jose, you want to sign that stuff? He goes, no, not today. I'm not signing. Let's go out to the restaurant, you know, relax. And then like the next day will come. I'm like, Jose, you want to bring the stuff? No, I'm not ready. He just likes to tease me, I think.
Yeah.
But then the last day, he goes, oh, how many things you got? I said, oh, like 20, 30. And he looks at me like, you fat liar, you.
You liar.
And then he goes like 280, 300, 340 pieces.
Damn.
And he's like, there's no 30 pieces. I go, yeah, there's number 2.
Right.
This is number 3, you know. But he just knows. He just like, I go, Jose, nobody has, like I said, I go over 2,500 signatures on everything, starting lineup, statues, baseballs, hats, puzzles. He has such a diverse collection out there. That's what I try to show on the YouTube videos.
Yes.
Because, you know, to me, you know, baseball cards are nice, but to try to find a magazine from the late 80s, you know, real nice poses and perfect mint condition shape you could pick up for $3-4 with $4 shipping. That magazine to me for $8 is going to be worth a lot in the future. Nice.
I was really stoked to get. I got all of his Beckett's. Finally, I collected all of those and got them all in good shape, and it was awesome to get those. I feel you on that. There's one of him with Billy Joe Robidoux, whatever his name is, on the back of a Wade Boggs. I think it was his Beckett. Yeah. Nice. Yep. And he also. He was on a couple like sports card digests that I don't have yet, and I think I have all of his Sports Illustrateds as well. But I need to get a different copy of one because I found a great deal on one of them where I think it was fuck, I can't even remember the name of it, but it has somebody's shipping address on it. But I literally got it for like $1, so I just took it, you know, because I wanted it, but. I want to. No,
I've done that before. If I didn't have it, I'd get it. Don't like the shipping label, and then I wound up finding one, you know, gem mint.
Yep. And just try to give the other one away for a contest or something like that.
Yeah.
Once I get the appropriate filler piece, but
one of the videos I think I have all it's mostly all magazines, but I got a lot of like newspapers.
Yes.
The Sporting News. Another great newspaper back then in the day was the National. If you remember?
No, I don't know that one.
It was just called the National. I believe the newspaper cost like $1 a day, but it was real quality, and there's some nice pictures of him on the front covers. If you get a chance to look at the video, you'll see them. Definitely. And I recently just picked up 3 or 4 I didn't have. They're in gem mint shape, and I'm just like, oh my god,
nice.
and you know and there's another thing. If you put yourself in his shoes, a lot of stuff I bring him to sign, he's interested in. And when I'm sitting next to him and he's signing like 200 batting helmets, those plastic ones, and he's just flipping them, he's so bored to death that when he gets something unique, he takes his time more and he looks at it. I had all the minor league Sporting News magazines, and he's looking at them. He's like, oh my, with Huntsville, with Medford, Modesto, and he loves it. I had an autographed ball from the whole team, and he's looking at it. I just brought it to him because his signature was on it. I wanted him to authenticate it. And he goes, I remember this. He goes, one of his first coaches was George Middlefield. You know the Chong baseball card?
Yes.
That black and white card?
Yes.
There's a press sheet of that, and he signed the press sheet, and I brought the ball, and he's like, where did you get this ball from?
Jesus.
I found it. I was lucky enough to get it. And he saw on the sweet spot, usually the coach, the manager, would sign it. And it said George Middlefield, and he was just really taken aback by that. Definitely. What really got him interested in me, I believe, was I'd always have a lot of unique stuff to bring up to sign. And somebody brought up a World Series bat that I had them sign it. And he was like, wow. And he's looking at it. He's like, where'd you get this from? And the person goes, oh, a friend of John, and his whole face like went down, right? So now he looks at me. Here's this big fat guy, you know. I wasn't that aggressive. I was always serious. And I every time I went up to him, I say, Jose, I don't care who's here today, but I'm your biggest fan. With a straight face. I probably sounded corny, but I said, well, this guy's going to remember me.
Exactly.
So sure as hell, he looks at me, and his eyes just rolled in the back of his head. Because, you know, people, these athletes, they probably get bored or like, oh, this guy again?
Yes.
Like, when's it enough? And I says, hey, Jose. He goes, I know, you're my biggest fan. You know, breaking my chops. And I says, Bill, I says, yeah. I says, I am. I says, and when you see this piece that I hand you, I think you'll maybe realize. So sure as hell, I lay down his original sketches to his tattoo prints.
Oh, jeez.
I got them right from the guy in Florida. He was the tattoo artist. He had the release form. It's on eBay, I think, for viewing.
Mm-hmm.
And he's looking at it. He actually got up out of his chair, lifted his pants up by the hip on both sides, and he was just like in shock, and he's like, "Where did you get this?" There's the release form, the business card, and I says, "Well, the guy, sold it right out of his store. I made him an offer." And so the agent looks at Jose. He's like, "What's the matter?" He goes, "These are my tattoos. These are the original stencils."
Jesus.
And I never knew as a tattoo. I don't know much about it, but you have to sign a release form.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. Before
they print it on your body, so I guess it protects them.
Right.
And here are these two dragons that twisted around his biceps.
Nice.
So this piece really got him. And he was like in shock. And all of a sudden I says, "Look at this." I start rolling up my sleeve.
No.
And his jaw dropped, right? Like thinking I took the exact stencils and tattooed my biceps. And he's looking at my arm like, and I go, "I'm just fucking with you, Jose." I says, "I would never. These are your tattoos. I don't want your prints. If I want to get something, I'll get my design."
Right.
And he went, oh. I says, "When you get a chance, stop by my table and look at your stuff." And he stopped by the table, and he looked like in shock. He was like, "What is this?" Minor league stuff and game used uniforms, and he was just like, "Wow." He's like, "How do you?" I says, "I only collect you. You're the only guy that interests me." So we hit it off there. A year later, we talked in Virginia in 2004. And at the time of that show, when he signed the tattoos, his father had like a real bad heart attack. And everybody at the show said, "Sorry about your dad, Jose. Sorry about your dad, Jose." And I says, "Man, this is getting annoying." Because as nice as the respect, you don't want to hear it 100 times, 200 times.
Not at all.
So I didn't say shit to him. And I cared, probably like you and everybody else. I says, "I'm not going to say nothing." So I had him sign some pictures of me together. We were doing back-to-back shots. I have like 3 different poses of that. I always like that back-to-back.
That's awesome. I want one bashing forearms with them.
Yeah. I don't have no bashes. As much as I like that, I see everybody do that.
Of course.
So it's like maybe it's corny. I don't want to bother him.
Right.
But I like back-to-back. Our arms folded.
Yeah.
Like big, strong bodyguards. I love that pose. So he looks at the photos the next year. I had them blown up 8x10. And we're in Virginia. He's selling all his stuff. And he looks at the photos. He goes, "Oh, my God, I look terrible there." I says, "Well, I didn't want to say nothing then." I said, "But your father had that massive heart attack." And all of a sudden he looks up at the sky. He goes, "Oh, my God, that's right. That's right." I says, "I felt so bad for you, bro. Everybody kept saying it over and over. I couldn't say it." I said, "So I'll say it now." And he's like, "Oh, thanks, John. Thanks, John." So I think that might have been, him remembering the tattoo prints, and then that year and stuff. It's like, I think that might have what stirred it. I mean, I know he doesn't have that big of a circle of friends, because a lot of people he told me befriended him.
Really?
I don't get anybody in Major League Baseball. I remember at the time when the book came out, he goes, "I have no more friends."
Yeesh.
But when he does these shows, when he's sitting down signing stuff, I've seen a lot of ball players get up out of their chair and walk up to him.
That's cool.
Yeah. Boggs, Lee Smith.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
He came up and said, "Jose," and I'm looking, this looks like Lee Smith. And he goes, "John, look at this guy's hands." Lee Smith's hands were like gigantic.
Huge.
And he was a great relief pitcher, I believe.
Yep, big time. Yep.
And Tino Martinez came up to him.
Nice.
And I says, "Tino Martinez." I says, "What can I say?" So I go up to him and pick a fight. I says, "Tino." "Oh, yeah." I says, "How could you explain them using Glenn Allen Hill over Canseco in the 2000 World Series?" And he went, I said, "But come on, be honest. I mean, you got Canseco, you got Glenn Allen Hill."
Right.
And Jose's like, John, what are you doing?" I said, "I'm just asking her a question." I mean, just like other people would say. I mean, I was pissed off they didn't use him in the playoffs until the World Series, and they gave him one friggin' at bat.
Yep.
I mean, and you got Clemens, when they finally, Torrey called his number, he's pretending he's got an oil can. Remember squeezing his joints?
Yes.
With the oil can? Because he hasn't played. He was like, "What? I'm up at bat. What? Game 4 of the World Series." I mean, and then if you remember his first at bat at Yankee Stadium.
No, I don't.
I have it on videotape. It's very memorable. He gets up, and they it was his first game with the Yankees. They're playing against the Oakland A's. He had bases loaded, 2 outs. They just pulled Barry Zito. I forgot who the relief pitcher was. And I think he had an 0-2 count. Next pitch, he popped up behind home plate. The next pitch, he creamed it. The bat broke, and it went halfway out into the outfield. And I says, if that bat didn't break, if you see this video, it had to be gone. Could you imagine if he had a grand slam open for his first at bat with the Yankees
against the A's?
Against the A's.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he would have got more at bats than Glenn Allen Hill. But if you look at the games that he played with the Yankees, and he rotated players, Torrey, where Glenn Allen Hill didn't play. Canseco was getting RBIs, he was getting home runs, he was getting extra base hits. He wasn't washed up in 2000.
No.
Because I'm so bored with collecting right now with baseball cards, because it's just the same shit every year.
Yeah, it's the same poses recycled every year too.
One card looks like he's got a beard. The 2018 Topps.
Yep. Where
he's like slumped over the board. It looks like he's got like a scruffy beard. It's a horrible photo.
Yep.
And I'm just like, I really don't like to say what I collect, because then people say, oh, maybe I'll start collecting that,
Right.
But I got the market pretty good corner on this, but it's game used ticket stubs.
Oh, there you go. Nice. Yeah.
I got a couple of hundred of them. I tried to buy only the ones where he hit home runs in. When I see them, they're all signed by Jose.
Jesus.
So that's like a nice memory. It doesn't take up much space, but maybe in the future, if you had to sell it online, it's easy to scan, easy to photo.
Right.
It doesn't take much room. I think they'll be valuable, because you can say, wow, it's a ticket stub signed by Jose.
Yep.
And a lot of ticket stubs where he hit 2 home runs or 3 home runs, I have them sign it special like that.
Nice.
So that's a rarity.
Big time.
One ticket, so I got the ticket stub where he pitched in the game.
Oh, sweet, with the Rangers?
Where he tore up his arm. Yeah. He didn't enjoy signing it, but he's like, yeah, I got his first game he ever played in, his first debut, his first hit. I have like 2 of those. Damn. They come up, and I think they went for maybe 30, 50 range.
That's not bad at all. Jeez.
Unsigned, but nobody's really looking at it. I'm like, this is going to be worth more in the future than these baseball cards.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to disrespect Tanner, but I've talked to him one time. I says, what are you going to do with these cards in the future? He goes, sometimes I wonder if they hold their value. But as an artist, if you've ever seen some of Tanner's work, it's just incredible.
Yeah, it is amazing. His custom cuts are absolutely ridiculous.
There's something wrong when you see his talent that some of these major baseball companies have not hired him.
Yep.
There's something wrong, because, like I said, the 2018 Topps cards, they're ugly as shit.
Yep. And then Tanner made some sweet-ass rated rookies that I know you have. That's kind of how me and you first started talking about.
Yes.
He had some original rated rookies that look sweet. They're very cool.
He made me a rated rookie with the Leaf, because Leaf.
Yes.
People are selling boxes of Leaf on eBay, 86 Leaf, saying, "Oh, get a Canseco rookie." They didn't put him in the Leaf. They only put him in Dunham's.
Yeah, it's not in there.
I know. And these poor bastards are like spending $60 on a box.
Oh man!
And I talked to one guy, and he didn't realize he was somewhere like from Mississippi.
Mm.
And he's like, "Hey man, I bought my $6." He says, "I can't find one." And I says, "Well, they don't exist." He goes, "Well, you got one." I says, "That's a custom-made card."
Yeah.
That he had made me, and I said I had Jose sign it. So he's like, "You're kidding me." The guy sounded like he only had like maybe 1 or 2 teeth in his mouth.
Right.
He's spending all his money on 86 Leaf, and they're still advertising it, saying his card is in there on eBay.
Man.
That's kind of sad,
It sounds like the same guy. I swear he posted videos showing all of his rated rookies, because he's like, "Ain't none of y'all got any rated rookies, because I got all them bitches."
Yeah.
And then here you are with 18 times more than that dude, and they're all autographed.
But I have an unfair advantage too.
A little bit.
You know what I'm saying? Because like when we go out, it's just like, I watch his back. There's been times where, like I said, he left his wallet behind.
Yeah, for sure.
Or somebody's doing something, and perfect example. We're in Boston at one event with Gooden, Oil Can Boyd, himself, and another real crazy older White Sox player who's real popular. And we went to dinner that night. They had a dinner for everybody, And the bus driver, he was driving his big, what do you call those things? Winnebagos? Those big campers?
Oh, yeah. Yep. Winnebago.
They had a camper driving the players from the hotel to the event to the dinner, right? So this guy is like the driver, the chauffeur of this big, house car, automobile. What do you call those things? So we're at the dinner. This guy's pounding them back, the drinks. And I never drink when we're out. And this guy's slamming them. And he's sitting across my table. So this guy's serious? He's going to drink and then drive all the players? So we get done with the dinner. I call up his agent, Jose Melendez. Real nice guy. He's his agent presently. Nice. And I says, Jose, listen, I says, I don't want this guy driving Jose back to the hotel. I says, let me drive him back. He says, what's the matter? And I told him, he goes, are you serious? I swear to God, I wouldn't lie. So we're walking out, and one of the guys who was running the event, I think I told him, I said, listen, Jose's not going. I says, Jose, you're not going in there. Just talk to Melendez. I said, what's the matter? I says, this guy was drinking like crazy. Mm-hmm. He's like, I'm not going with him. Then you drive me. So I drove him, and then Melendez found out the truth, and he's like, John, I'm so happy you were there with him. Mm-hmm. Blah blah blah. I says, listen, I says, it's my pleasure, my honor. I says, he goes, I always see you watch his back. I says, of course. Are you kidding me? I don't want nothing to happen to him. He's more than a friend. He's a lot of things to me. I says, of course not. But giving him that, he knows that if I say, Jose, can you sign? I got some stuff here to sign.
Yes.
The guy always says, okay. I mean, that's just unheard of. 200-300 items every time we're together.
Right.
And I try not to bring cookie cutter stuff because that's boring to him.
Right. I saw the video.
There's no interest.
I saw a video of him just pile driving some Tampa Bay Devil Rays helmets out.
I put that up there. Yeah,
that was you. And I was like, yeah, man. So it makes sense to me when you say that he's excited to see more interesting pieces than the same piece times 500.
There's a beautiful poster of him and with the Devil Rays, where they had the hit show, mm-hmm. and they called it the shit show because him and Castilla got hurt, and they only hit like 70 home runs as a team. Mm. And there's an odd poster of him. He's on motorcycles with who are the other guys? Fred McGriff, Vinny Castillo, and Greg Vaughn.
Oh shit!
And in that poster shot, they had a newspaper print that was really cheap and bad. But they have one on a real thick, hard poster board I brought to him recently, nice. And he just loved it. He's like, "Oh wow, look at this!" Because there you see his biceps with the tattoos. So he goes, "I got to put something special on this." So he wrote The Chemist, nice. And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't really like that nickname, The Chemist."
Oh, I like that one.
You like that?
Yeah.
So, but like stuff like that just like inspires him. Where then if he's got to sign another 20 rated rookies, he don't give a care, Right. But you just can't give him like plain, like it's like that video with the batting helmets was just boring. In fact, my wife's looking at it and she's laughing. She's like, "Look at him like chuck them after he signs them."
Exactly. Yeah.
Because it's like garbage. I mean, come on.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're selling them for $60 a pop.
Yeah, that's.
They were on eBay last night for like $60 a pop. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
And he really, I tell you what, he really likes to sign. He loves signing the Fritz Madison Muskies card.
Nice, because that's what I got, and that's what I'm going to give him.
Oh, great.
That's awesome.
I think one of the auctions I have like 18 of them signed. And I just picked up another.
Stash in that shot.
I think I just picked up another 50 or 60 sets I found from a guy who found them in a warehouse.
Oh, beautiful.
Nice. Yeah, so I don't know if I might as well just throw the other cards out because nobody cares who's in the set.
I know.
But Jose.
Unfortunate, man.
And another item I can't understand why he doesn't sell is his first. It's actually his second porcelain statue.
Oh, of the 86 Topps?
No, it's a porcelain statue of him. Sports Impressions.
Oh, shoot, yeah. I think I saw it. Did you show that on a video?
Yeah, there's a statue. It actually commemorates the 40-40. Nice. But he loves this. Every event we do, me and my wife go. I have like a couple of them. And he just enjoys signing it. He signs it on the leg in black or blue pen.
Yeah.
And he looks at it. He just puts it there and he just stares at it. He goes, "That is a nice," because he hates starting lineups. They're ugly. He says,
they
cheap
don't
plastic.
Like them at all. Yeah, for
right.
Sure.
But he loves that big piece. And I have them on eBay. I think I've had them as low sometime as like $30.
What?
And it's in perfect condition. People don't want to buy them. I found a guy unloading them for like $12 a piece in a store. He was closing the store, so I bought about maybe 20 of them.
Nice.
And I had them signed. They just don't sell. But I'm like, well, maybe one day they will. You know?
Well, yeah, I'll probably be hunting one of those down after we're done with this interview.
Yeah. But I know there's certain things he just really admires, and it's, you know. And then there's the plastic Slurpee cup, something stupid like that.
Yeah.
I brought him one. I put it in the video. It's a minor league one, and he says, "John, hold on to this." I says, "Yeah, why?" He goes, "I've never seen this." It was like I think it's Medford A's or Modesto A's.
Modesto, yeah.
He loved the cup. It was like an insulated coffee mug or whatever,
Nice.
but a plastic cup, tall. And he just really liked it because he doesn't see it around.
For sure.
It was an oversized $40 bill. I have in one of the videos. He says, "I've never seen that ever."
I've never seen that either.
Yeah. That's another thing. A lot of stuff I like in the videos. You know, I made the videos on YouTube. I have always admired the people that did theirs.
Right.
Tanner, for one.
Mm-hmm.
Yours I love because you're just yourself, natural. There's no, you know, there's no fakeness. I don't think. I mean, it's kind of true.
Agreed.
You know, I just like, yeah. And people probably call you nuts and crazy, and you know, that's fine with me. That's you're not a cookie cutter like everybody else.
Exactly.
So he says, you know what? I broke my back 3 months ago, and they couldn't operate. So I've been just doing therapy and stuff. I says, man, I got to do something because I'm ready to jump out off the ceiling, staring at the ceiling all day. So I says, let me make some videos. And a lot of people said, John, you know, they haven't said it in the reviews, but they called me up and says, John, wow, I really see a lot of diverse stuff, and they were interested. So it's more like trying to educate people, see what's out there, to get them off the baseball cards. One I did as a comedy where I'm holding like a stuffed doll of his.
Yes, I saw that
one. Yeah, the wrestling buddies. And my wife laughed her ass off. She's like, and my mother-in-law too. They were like, look, I says, you know, I try to do it serious, but comedy-wise, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I was cracking up.
and he wrote on it, John, don't squeeze me too tight, you know? Making fun of me, too. Because I think one time he even said to me, he goes, John, you want my underwear with the skid marks on it? You want me to sign that?
Yes.
I says, well, if the skid mark is straight, like a straight line, sign it right above the skid mark.
Right.
You know, he's real cool.
Right.
So I did a video holding that doll. I figured it'd be a kicker. Like, people who don't know me to be like, look at this whack job, you know? And then I started begging for 101s, you know?
Yeah.
That was directed at these people that are so jealous.
That was funny.
Of the other guy who's out there on the internet. That's why I said, please send your 101s. Yeah. I mean, I could care less about that, you know?
I know. I know
but,
what you were saying.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows. And probably Tanner knows, probably too.
For sure.
But he knows I'm a little eccentric too, but... you know, I could probably tell you a million stories.
For sure. You know, I want to hear all these stories, but I only got like about another 7 more minutes of audio.
That's good. That's good, because I got to start driving home before my wife beats me up.
No shit.
She's the only person in the world that could beat me up.
Dude, I really appreciate you coming on, man, and taking the time. Like I said when we had talked or we're setting this up, I only expected about a half hour, an hour of your time, and I really appreciate, you know, we're going 2 hours here just shooting shit about
2 hours. Oh my God.
Yeah, buddy, you better get.
You know what? The sun is coming up. I think the sun is coming up. Right. Oh my God. My wife's gonna beat the shit out of me.
Whoops. Well, we're going to go ahead and get you home soon then, my man. But what I want to say is that I want to have you come on in a couple months so you can update me on some pieces and some stories. I want to hear more about everything, obviously, and maybe an event you got coming up or anything.
Yeah, sure.
You know, I just want
I've shared a lot of stories with friends and stuff, and I think word gets around from one collector to the next.
Yeah, but I like hearing it straight from the man that's what this whole podcast is about. What I started the whole BrahjCast was for is because I was tired of just kind of wondering how shit was, and I just want to talk to the people that are directly involved, and here you are right next to the man, you know, and the top Canseco collector out there for memorabilia, so...
And you know, till this day, I never take advantage of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure, 100%. And by talking to you, I can.
And still to this day, there's people that don't believe it.
Oh yeah.
They'll say, "Oh, that guy's full of shit." That's why I put pictures of us, like on eBay auctions,
Yep.
just so people can say I'm not lying. You know, the guy's a great guy. We're very close friends, and still people don't believe it. You know, I put pictures of him where he's sleeping in bed, and I'm like next to him because he trusts me. You know, and I'm just like, you know, how much more proof do you want? You know,
I know, right? Some autographed skid marks, Jesus.
Yeah. He said because he says, like, you know, I guess sometimes I could be overbearing as a fan, and athletes don't like that. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
There's times we've gone out. He's done events and he did a home run derby. He did a phone booth where he had to catch money, like in a booth in a casino.
Yep.
He just had a real big day. Had to play in the game, and like we went to dinner. He goes, like, John, don't talk about baseball. I don't want to talk about. I want to relax. And I'm like, okay, you got it. And we went to a club one time, and everybody's drinking and stuff. And he said to me, he goes, John, I want to have a good time. Have a beer. I said, I'm not drinking.
Mm-hmm.
He says, I told you. I says, you'll have a good time. I like to joke, and as is, I'm not going to check. I'm always joking. I don't need beer. I drink beer. I go to sleep.
Right.
I says, but, you know, and there he is. He's, you know, drinking, enjoying himself, dancing with, you know, with women and fans and friends. And I'm looking at guys at the bar looking at him like they're ready to, you know, they're getting jealous. They're looking at him with a snarl. Why? Because all the women are interested in him. All the people are interested in him. So these two guys, they look like real, I don't know, I don't want to describe them, but they were just like, you know, you can see they were jealous. And I'm looking at them with a straight face and smiling in the club. I mean, I'm 50 now, but I'm thinking I'm like 30 again, you know, like ripped and stuff. I'll show you pictures, forget about it. And I'm looking, and they're looking at me, I go, hey, how you doing, guys? You're enjoying yourself tonight? And they're like, what? Who's this guy? I got his back.
I got his back, bruh.
I mean, you've seen things, other athletes on TMZ, a fanatic or a fan hit him in the back of the head with a mug, with a beer bottle. It very easily, if a kid could get shot in a school, 17 kids murdered, believe me, somebody could throw a beer bottle at him because they don't like him.
Exactly.
Me and my wife love to go to Atlantic City, down there. It's like a ghost town. We're not gamblers, but we just like, you know, the beach, the fresh air, the casinos are nice attractions. But we were in a Hooters down there in Atlantic City. What broke out in the restaurant was amazing. They had no bouncer on hand. Guys were picking up chairs, flinging flinging glass bottles.
Jesus Christ.
And instead of running from it, I'm 6'3", you know, 280. I'm going towards them like I'm thinking I'm working in a club again.
Right.
My wife is like real small, like 5 feet tall. And God forbid a glass hits my wife, I'm going to jail because I'm going to knock out all these guys. And they're all like young guys in their 20s. And I'm filming. I grabbed one chair in midair before the guy threw it. He's like, you didn't see I get hit? I'm like, dude, someone's going to get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a guy sitting in the back by the chicken wings cooking. I'm thinking he's the manager. And I'm saying, you're back there hiding behind the waitresses in their skimpy outfit. And he's saying, F you and all that stuff. And I started raging. And all of a sudden he looked at me and went, I'm a customer. The manager left the place.
Jesus.
And the place was destroyed. I mean, there's just crazy nuts out there.
Yes.
I mean, so that's why I say wherever events that he goes to, he should have somebody with him. Every athlete or TV star or whatever that's in the limelight should have somebody there to watch their back.
100%.
And a lot of these shows I see where, like example, Ed Too Tall Jones, I don't think he had a family member with him there.
No shit.
He probably lives in Texas, come up here. I see a lot of athletes. They come by themselves. And if they want to get a drink of water or feel like an ice cream bar at 3 a.m, who are they going to ask?
Nobody.
They're relying upon the hotel if they have room service. There's no room service at 2, 3 a.m. Where I try to say, Jose, you know, whatever you need, blah blah blah, and he just looks at me. I says, listen, if I just bring some stuff for you to sign, that's all I want, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But he knows I care. I'm a big fan, and that's the bottom line. And you know, it's just nice to have good times and stuff. But it's also fun too, because even though I'm older, at least I still have my size and my strength. I don't want to be rolling around the ground with 25-year-olds.
Right.
But it's just the presence, you know.
Uh-huh.
And he's still a big kid. He's still a big kid. We're pulling in a parking lot at a movie theater, and some guy was like getting ready to cut us off. And Jose goes, John, I guess I was a little aggressive driving. I says, yo, he has a stop sign. And he's like, oh. So we parked the car. Would you believe it or not, the guy parks next to us.
Oh, no.
Right? Saying, oh, no, right? So we get out of the car, and the guy must have been like 4'0" nothing, you know? He had like this big Yukon truck, whatever it was.
Oh, yeah.
And here I am in my two-door yellow Jeep Wrangler with 40 man license plates. And we get out of the car, and we look at the guy, and he looked like a munchkin, you know, from The Wizard of Oz.
Yep.
And Jose's like, did you see that guy's face? I was like, yeah. I said, I feel bad for the guy now, you know. But we both enjoy each other's company. I take pictures of him while he's sleeping in the car while I'm driving, you know. And then like one time somebody pulled up and it goes, oh, 40 man, Canseco. And I rolled down my window. I'm all tinted out. I go, yeah, look. And he looked in the car and he went, holy shit. You know?
There he is.
Oh, my God. And then remember those little square sucker cups you put in your window that says baby on board?
Yep.
They're like diamond-shaped yellow.
Yep.
You know, like warning signs, child on board. I actually put Jose Canseco on board.
Nice.
When we did a 3-day thing of Philadelphia, New York, and New Jersey. And people were coming up to the window and said, Jose, roll your window down. And people like in shock. They're like, holy shit, you know? He liked it too. Yeah, it was funny.
That's awesome. That's awesome to hear nothing but good stories about the guy. You know, it just gets bashed so much in the media.
He's the greatest, one of the greatest players ever. The guy's one of the nicest guys in the world.
That's so good to hear. Gives me fucking
never got no problems in the news with statutory rape like some players.
Right,
you know,
exactly.
Cork bats. You know, the guy's always been honest and true. But the final word is people are still jealous of him.
Yeah, 100%, brother.
He's still in the limelight. He's still relevant with all the events that he still does.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on.
I agree.
He's not boring.
Man, I hope he comes to Madison. Jose, when you listen to this on repeat for the rest of your life, come to Madison, Wisconsin, so I can meet you.
and when you do see him, when he signs the Madison card or whatever for you,
yep.
And you mention me, he'll go, I don't know who that guy is. I don't know that guy.
I don't know what the hell
I'm not associated with that guy. That's what he'll say. At the show, I was talking to Bosworth, Jim Zorn, and from the Seahawks. I felt bad for that guy because that guy came all the way from Seattle.
Oh.
No family, no friends, no manager with him. And we were talking for like a half hour. And Jose walks up to us, and he goes, whatever that guy says, I don't even know who he is. Yeah, you know, he's a real comedian, too.
That's awesome.
But it was great talking to you, Chris.
Yeah, man. Thanks a lot, man. I really appreciate the time.
I want to go take my wife to the movies tonight, go see that crazy movie, Unsane.
Oh, nice. Cool, man. Let me know how it goes. Cool.
It looks kind of interesting, like a thriller, so.
Yeah, definitely. Cool, man.
All right, brother.
All right, thanks a lot for the time, brother. You take care.
All right, keep in touch, Chris.
Yeah, we will. Take care, boss.
Take care, buddy. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, everybody, that's it. Really appreciate you sticking around to the end. Big thanks to John Carlson for your time. Really appreciate that. If you guys want to see some really sweet pieces and all the things that we were talking about today, check out John Carlson, Jose Canseco 4040 Collector on YouTube. Don't forget to be liking and subscribing to all my videos, all his videos. Man, check out HaleySpaghetti.com if you want to read the greatest book ever written. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Can't wait till we have John on again. Like I said, going to have some other baseball card collectors on in the future. Really enjoyed talking to everybody. I really enjoyed talking about the hobby. We all seem to be like-minded people, or at least we have one big chunk of our lives that's in common, and it's fun to be able to just talk shit with other collectors and talk about how we got into collecting and what got us into collecting and what the heck we are collecting, because everybody's collecting for a different reason, and there's always stories behind it, and usually they're awesome. So that's it, everybody. Thanks a lot for sticking around. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Love you all. Check out my Patreon. Dang, don't know what else to say except have a great day, guys. Love you.